The title of today's discussion, Manifesting with Doubt. Manifesting even when there's doubt. How do I do this? How do I battle my anxiety, my fear, my doubt, all these intrusive thoughts? How do I battle them? Let's talk about them. All right. So we're going to start with a little bit of a way to think about this. All right. One of the things that we have to understand is that the beginning and the end, always the easy part. You have a desire, you say it's yours. It's always the end. It's always the easy part. But what can we learn from just regular life about how to handle doubt, how to handle that middle? All right. One thing that the world would tell us is this. They'll say, man, I believed in myself before anybody was clapping for me. That's metaphysical. That is a metaphysical statement. I believed in myself before anybody was on my side. I walked around knowing I was rich before the money came. Even when everybody was doubting me, I still was that guy, right? These are metaphysical statements. So what can we learn from this? We're going to take this, we're going to put this in a more, a little bit more rugged way today, right? This is not going to be one of the love and light topics, right? So how to actually handle the middle, how to handle your doubt and your fear and your anxiety and all those things, all right? So let's start with this couple paragraph little intro. This is meant for you to have a backbone. Going down this journey, it is meant for you to develop some kind of spiritual arrogance. The knowing that source is within you. The knowing that whatever situation that I face, I have God with me. This should be clarity. You should feel good about that. You should fall back on that knowing when you have doubt. So hear this, all right? I knew I was the coldest long before the world remembered how to see me. Before applause, before numbers, before money, I walked in the quiet confidence of the God within. Not loud, not boastful, but certain. Because Spirit whispered it to me in silence long before the world ever gave it a name. I believed not because I saw, but because I was shown in the unseen. And if what I believe must shape what I experience, then every breath I take in faith is prophecy in motion. My reality does not come from circumstance. It flows from the authority of my I am. So I do not flinch when the world speaks against me. I do not shrink when the timeline feels tangled. I wait in the unfolding as one already crowned. I know who I am when it's quiet, when it's dark, when it looks like nothing is happening, because the promise was personal and never public. The promise was personal and never public. My expectation is not built on proof. It is rooted in revelation and prophecy. I am the prophet of my reality. I am the prophet of my reality. I walk like it's done because in the spirit, it always was. The world catches up to what I already carry. And even if they never say my name, heaven already did, and that is enough. Even if they don't support, heaven already does, and that is enough. There's nothing out there. There's no out there. And the moment that you come into that understanding, that understanding, that knowing within yourself, it's all about me. Make it about you. Make it about you. Stop making it about other people. It's always about you. All right? Reality is not created by what other people say, by other people's doubts, by other people's limitations, by other people telling you what you can and cannot get. Reality is only based on your word. I am. I am reality, and there is no one else. No one has power in my reality. No one has power in your reality. No one can speak your reality into existence but you. Isn't that a beautiful thing? It doesn't matter what they say. Let them say whatever. It doesn't matter what they think. Let them think whatever. It doesn't matter if they doubt. Let them doubt. Forget it. Forget them. It is you and the power that creates worlds by your side. Why would you need someone else? It's God. If God is with me, who can be against me? If God is with me, who can be against me? Right? This is not a as the world would say, a humble statement. All right, we're going to take this on a different route today, all right? So the mystery of the middle, what to do between the promise and the proof. The promise and the proof. the promise and the external physical manifestation. What the hell to do on the journey? What the hell to do on the journey? 2 Corinthians 5:7, for we walk by faith, not by sight. We walk by faith, not by sight. Right? The sight is deceiving. I can only see so much of reality. I can only see what's in this room right in front of me. But the spirit operates far beyond what I can see. All right? There is a sacred space between what God said and what your eyes see. Remember, before they ask, I will answer. Before you want it, your Father already knew. You already had it. It's already yours. It's done. The desire is the promise. You believe you're desiring on your own, but really Source is placing that desire in your mind. But then we start making up rules. I got to be more specific. I got to say it like this. I got to think like this. What if I'm not affirming it right? Source already knew. Let them not worry about what to eat or what to drink, for your Father in heaven knows you have need for all those things. Before they ask, I will answer. God's not moved by the clarity of your request or the vagueness of it. It doesn't matter if you detail every single thing that you want in your house or you just say, I want a life of peace. It's still heard with the same purity, with the same intention. It's still executed with the same divinity. Before they ask, I will answer. Before they ask, I will answer. All right. So there is a sacred space between what God said and what your eyes see. Between the vision and the victory. Between it is done and there it is. Right. Remember that. It is done. There it is. There's a period of time in between that. Right. There's a period of time in between that. All right. This space, the middle, is not a void. It is a womb. We often talk about that wilderness. Right. That wilderness experience. Right? Israelites had to go through the wilderness to get to the promised land. Jesus had to go through the wilderness to fast for 40 days before he was resurrected, right? We often call this the void, that empty space where you don't know which way is up and down. It's like you're the seed planted in the soil. Okay, I have this desire. I grant it to myself, and now I'm planted in the soil. Which way do I go? Don't think of this as a void. This is the womb. This is the womb. This is when you and Source get real close. This is when you and your vision get real close. You get real comfortable in that womb. All right? This is when you should be leaning on your conviction, leaning on your faith, leaning on your knowing. I am that I am no matter what. I don't care what I see. The promise is already there. This is when we go back. We go back to that story. How many times? As many times as you need, right? How many times did Jesus say forgive yourself? 7 times 70, which equals 490. In the Hebrew, that means infinity. Do it as many times as you need. So this is the womb. This is where you are being rebirthed. That old version of you. That old version of you, right? It had a thought. It had a desire from Source. It had a desire from Source. Okay, now once you have the desire, that old version of you has to fade away. And now you go into the womb, right? You grant it to yourself. Okay, now I am prosperity. I've seen the lack in my life, and that gave me greater clarity on the prosperity I want. I saw the heartbreak. I saw the betrayal. That gave me greater clarity on what I want. Now I have spoken who I am now. Shit, this is how women treat me now. This is how men treat you now. This is how the world looks at me now. This is what is promised to me now. The moment I say that, I become it. There's no separation. There's no process to become it. The moment I say it, I am it. The moment I claim it, I am it. You are already all that there is. You are Source. You are the identity of the divine. You are the personality of God. You are the body of God. You are the temple of the Most High, the temple of the Holy Spirit. There is one law, the law of being, that you are all that there is. I am that I am is the only law in this universe. I am your pure awareness. Whatever you say after that, you are simply utilizing God within that law. So everything you say is a concession to all that there is, and all that there is God. Do you follow me? Everything that you say is a concession to all that there is. All that there is God. All that there is God. So every time I declare anything, I need to visualize better. I'm declaring God. I'm saying, okay, God, go in and make a reality where I continue to think I need to visualize better. When I say it's always working out for me no matter what, I'm saying, okay, God, show me the reality where it's always working out for me no matter what. This is your power. You make all the rules with your word. Life and death is in the power of the tongue, and those that love it shall bear its fruit. Job 22:28, thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be. Thou shalt say it, speak it. To decree, we look at this up all the time. To decree means what? To speak as a legal authority. To speak as a legal authority. So when you speak as a legal authority, you command reality. Look how divine your ass is. Look how divine your ass is. You command reality. Reality catches up to you. So the moment I have a desire, it's mine. Boom, the desire, the granting it to myself simultaneously. Because before I ask, I'm answered. I have it. It's mine. I take a new perspective right now. I see life as one who has it. Now what happens? I am that thing. I am that person now. And reality begins to unfold from within me. And then I walk through life. And what happens as I walk through life? What happens as I walk through life? I unfold. Reality has to rearrange to match me. Reality rearranges to match me. Right? This is your power. This is your power. Okay? So this space, the middle, is not a void. It is a womb. And what happens here, what happens in this womb, in this sacred space between the granting it to yourself and the third dimensional reality presenting it to you, okay? What happens here determines whether you carry the promise to term or abort it with doubt. Hear that. Hear that. What happens in the womb, in the void, in the wilderness, in that dark night of the soul, whatever you want to call it, what happens here determines whether you carry the promise. Notice I say promise. Because the moment you grant it to yourself, it is a divine promise. Even scripture will tell you this: whatsoever you ask, believing that you have received it, will be given to you. Whatsoever you ask the Father in my name will be given to you. It's said a whole bunch of different ways. It will be given to you. This is a promise. This is an absolute statement of ownership. Who can fuck it up? You can. You're the only person. Not your nervous system. Not your subconscious mind, not your ex, not that other person, the third party or whatever dealing with your SP. None of that. None of them have power. None of those things have power. None of those things have power. You have all the power. All right. So what happens here determines whether you carry the promise to term or abort it with doubt. Now, what is the name of this? How to manifest through doubt. So let's talk about doubt, fear, anxiety, right? All those things that we stigmatize, we label them as negative from our human perception. Right? These things don't pull you out of alignment. Look, hear this clearly. These things have no power. They're just feelings. They have no power to pull you away from what you want. They're just feelings. They have no power to slow down your momentum to getting what you want. They're just feelings. They're just emotions. They're just telling you what you've been thinking before. All right? Hear this. You are, okay? You are God. You are the identity of God. I know. It can be hard to hear sometimes. You are source. Let other people argue for their limitations. You have none. You are source. And because of this divine birthright of yours, you came out the womb as source. Before you came out the womb, you were source. All right? Because you are source, you already have everything. You have all the worthiness, all the love, all the prosperity, all the divinity, all the healing, all the health, everything that you desire, you have it in abundance, infinitely. Okay? Infinitely. How could you ever be out of alignment? If all of those things are your natural birthright, how could you ever be out of quote unquote alignment? You're already walking around in the highest vibration that there is. How can you try to be something that you already are? Hear me. Answer this. How can you try to be something that you already are? By you trying to be what you already are, you are what? You're implying that you do not believe that you are it. So this hamster wheel of becoming, this hamster wheel of embodiment, this hamster wheel of I have to be worthy, I have to walk around acting like I have prosperity, even though I've never touched a dollar in my life. Those things keep you from where you're trying to go. You're already everything that you desire to be right now. Like Neville said, the only thing keeping you from receiving what you want is you refuse to believe that you already are that person right now. The self is already perfect. You are already perfect. You are already made in the perfect image of the Creator. That's a quote. You are already made in the perfect image of the Creator. That's a quote. So I don't want to hear none of that. No, it's just one God, yada, yada. I don't want to hear none of that shit. You are already made in the perfect image of the Creator. Already. How could you ever be anything less than perfect? Now, let's go a step further. When you were born here, right, we talk about the story of Adam and Eve. This is a story of childbirth. Okay? This is a story of childbirth. All right? So what actually happened while you were in the garden? You were united with God. And then you decided to descend into duality, right? Descend into duality. And when you descended into duality, one of the things that represents the descending into duality is what? Biting, eating of the fruits of knowledge of good and evil. Because then you will be like gods. Now you will be able to create. Right? This isn't a story about some man and a woman the woman should submit and she should have listened and Adam should have been there to protect her. This has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. This is a story about consciousness. Consciousness, you bite of that fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. And when you bite of that fruit, now all of a sudden, what do we do as humans? We say, oh, this is good, this is bad. This is right, this is wrong. This is morally good, this is morally bad. This is all rooted in ego. God's not out here judging. Source, imagine this. Source sees all that there is, right? So imagine being able to take a bird's eye view of you. Okay? But not just the you that you see right now. Every single possible outcome of your life. Every single age that you've been. Every single possible outcome that there could be. Every single infinite way that your reality could unfold. You would see the pure perfection of you. Now let's multiply that. Now you do that for every single soul. Not just here on earth, right? We tend to think like, oh, the Bible is just about earth. This is the only place, right? Not just here, but everywhere. You see nothing but perfection, right? You see the infinite. How could you identify with lack? Every single place, every single moment that any person is in right now, they already have all the tools to get exactly to where they want. So people will say, well, if God's all good, why do bad things happen? It's a very human way to think about it. You're trying to add human perspective to something that's beyond your understanding. Source is all that there is. There are infinite realities. Infinite upon infinite realities. It's incountable. It's innumerable. You can't fathom it. You can't wrap your mind around it. But if you could see it, all you would see is the perfect ability for everybody to have free will. And that's what you have. Absolute free will. So when you focus on whatever, because you were given this gift of duality, when you focus on whatever, now you can walk through life and you can say, this is good, this is bad, I want this, I don't want that. I can focus on this, I can not focus on that, and I can create the reality that you want. This is the representation of Adam. Representation of Adam. Adam represents the quote unquote masculine, or really the conscious mind. Why was Adam given the task to name all the animals? Why? Because this is your task. This is the task of the conscious mind, to walk around and name things. This is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. What is reality without your story? Erase your memory of your mother. How do you explain her? She would be meaningless without your memory. Explain yourself without your memory. You would be meaningless without your memory. Explain that circumstance that you're looking at right now without your memory. It's meaningless. The only thing that gives it meaning is you. You're the one who speaks life into it with your stories, with your expectations, with your beliefs. Everything is meaningless. So when we say things like circumstances don't matter, reality is meaningless, this is what I'm saying. It is. It is. You're just constantly telling stories that give meaning. You're telling the greatest story. You're telling the love story of you. Why make it ugly? Why make it such a tragedy? Why make it such a tragedy? Everything is simply a story. You are pure awareness. Who is the one that is aware of who you are? Who is the one watching you judge things? That's who you really are. Who is the one watching you stress out? That is who you really are. You're not the one stressing. You're not the one stretching either, but you're not the one stressing. You are the one watching. You are the one observing. You are the unmoved, unshakable, formless I am behind all of the nonsense. Behind all of the nonsense, I am. I am. I am that I am no matter what. All right? So, Habakkuk 2:3. I always fuck this name up. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. Remember, we waited. We looked up the word tarry in the dictionary. What the hell does this mean, tarry? Right? To prolong. It starts late. There's a delay. It does not come fast, right? Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. No matter what it looks like, wait for it, because it will surely come. Judge not by appearance, but judge with righteous judgment. Hebrews 10:23. This one's beautiful. This one's beautiful. Hear this. He who promised is faithful. So we're told, whatsoever you ask, the Father in my name will be given to you. Remember, the Father in my name. This is a book of you. Okay? Scripture is a book of you. This is an internal book of consciousness. So it's not saying in Jesus' name out there. Okay? It's saying the name of your I am awareness, I am. When I invoke the name of Jesus, I am. When I invoke my true name, I am. The name of source, I am. All right? Whatever I say within that name, I am this, I am that, will be given to me. Will be given to me. All right? And then Hebrews 10:23, it breaks that down. He who promised is faithful. The source within you is faithful. It's absolutely faithful. But here's the $1 million question. Are you faithful to yourself? Are you faithful to yourself? Are you faithful to your assumption no matter what? I know you are, Goddess. I know you are, Goddess. Are you faithful to your assumption no matter what? No matter what. No matter what you feel. No matter if there's doubt. No matter if there's fear. No matter if there's anxiety. No matter what. Are you faithful? This is the key. When you are in that void, in that womb, this is when your faithfulness is required. Or you trying to sign a prenup. You're trying to have a plan B. You're trying to have a side piece with your desire. But a double-minded man is unstable. Unstable in all of their ways. All right? You're unstable in all your ways. So the moment that you start to try to be double-minded, I want this, but this doubt and fear, I don't know. This visualization, I don't know if I'm doing it right. The affirmations, I don't know if I'm doing it right. There was a question earlier. What is the best manifestation technique? You are the technique. Everything else is meaningless. What you say is the technique, is that's what it is. You are the technique. There's nothing out there. We go from praying to a God in the sky to all of a sudden praising these visualizations out there. Which one is it, y'all? Do you have the power or not? We go from praising a God out there, a God far away that we think is so far away we can't see it. Could never see it from our perspective down here. It's too vast, too far away. Judging what we're asking for. And then we go to judging what we are asking for. Think about that. You know how crazy that is? You go from thinking some God in the sky is judging. He's not going to give me this or not. To judging yourself. I don't know if I'm affirming it right or not. You have the power. You are the operant power. You are. Okay? You are. These things work because you say they work. You don't have to do shit. You don't have to affirm. You don't have to visualize. You don't have to move a muscle. You don't have to get up and go anywhere. You simply need to be And by being, you magnetize everything to you. Everything to you. You don't have to do shit. But be still and know that I am God. You can take that very literally. Be still and know that I am God. Be still. Sit your ass down and know that I am God. I am does not need your ego's approval. I am does not need your feelings on board. I am does not need your nervous system regulated. I am could care less about a subconscious mind. I am is beyond all of that. I am is reality. Everything beneath I am, everything after I am is a concession to all it is. Everything after I am is simply you invoking the name of the Creator and creating rules that do not serve you. I am is it. That is the law. That is the method. I am. This is your true nature. This is what you are beyond the BS. I am. This is you. I am. Even I am prosperity, though it's a beautiful statement to make, one that I love, right? Even that is a concession to all that you are. Do you hear this? Do you hear this? Do you understand what I'm saying? Every single thing that you speak is law. When you think of the word Lord in Old Testament, Lord translates to law. So we're saying to invoke the name of the Lord, to invoke the law within you. This is the law. There's one law, the law of who you are. And you are already all that there is. Stop trying to be worthy. Stop trying to have faith and simply know who you are. I am that I am no matter what. Simply know that you're in alignment. Stop trying to be in alignment and know that you're always in alignment. No matter what, no matter how you feel. This is how you cut through the doubt. Is you get present and you remind yourself, I am that I am no matter what. No matter what. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. I am that I am no matter what. All right? The middle is where most lose the plot. The middle is where most lose the plot. Not because the promise failed, but because their faith failed. Their faith fainted. Their faith got weak. What is faith? What is conviction? What is belief? It's not a feeling. If I ask you that and you think of a feeling, oh, it's just this calm feeling that everything is okay and I feel good all the time. No, it is your ability to tell the same story. No matter what. No matter what. It's just that knowing. I tell the same story no matter what, no matter how I feel. No matter how I feel. No matter how I feel, all right? So the wilderness between Egypt and Canaan. Here we go. God delivered Israel from Egypt with signs and wonders. But between the promise of the land and the possession of it was the wilderness. Dry, confusing, unyielding, causing all this doubt to rise up. At one time, remember, the Israelites were even like, bro, we should have went back to slavery. They got all of these wonders already, all these miracles. The Lord of the Old Testament went so far as to kill all the firstborn sons in Egypt, just going to wipe them out. Wipe them out. And then gave them a hint, said, you know what? When y'all leave Egypt, guess what? I'm going to harden Pharaoh's heart and he's going to follow y'all. They already knew the plot. They already knew the promise. The same way that you already know the promise. But guess what? They still were wandering around like, God damn, we should have stayed back in slavery. The wilderness is testing you. Okay? It's not because reality is testing you. It's because you have to be faithful to what you want to receive it. You have to commit. You have to commit. Yeah, okay, yeah, you accepted it, right? You had the desire, you gave it to yourself. You got through the honeymoon phase. Now we're going to see if you're really committed to the marriage. The honeymoon phase is cool. It's great. But would you define it as true love? Perhaps. Perhaps not. I would say, when I'm talking about a relationship, until you have transmuted the pain, the disagreements, right, into greater connection, into deeper connection, then what you doing? Until you have transmuted the doubt and the anxiety and the fear into a deeper communion with the source within you, then what are you doing? What are you doing? You have to get through the honeymoon phase. This is why consciousness, being aware, is so important. because you can tell when you're out of it. Oh shit, I'm feeling a certain way now. But I know that that feeling is just a feeling. What do I have to believe to be true to feel this way? Okay, maybe I believe that, God might not come through for me. Remind myself of the truth. I am source. Remind yourself of the truth. Hebrews 10:23. He who promised is faithful. Now, my only job is to be faithful to me. My only job is to be faithful to myself. Because he who promised is already faithful. I just got to be faithful. I just got to be faithful. Isn't that interesting? For you to want that woman, for you to want that man to commit to you, you got to commit to yourself. Huh? How interesting is that? Isn't that suspicious? Isn't that interesting how that works? In order for me to have money commit to me, I got to commit to myself. For me to have that person commit to me, I got to commit to myself. Huh? Interesting. It's almost as if I have to make it about me. The inner marriage, the lamb and the bride. The inner marriage, the lamb and the bride. I got to make it about me. I got to put me first. I got to put me first. You got to put you first. Seek ye first the kingdom and all things will be added. I wonder how much more clear could it be? How much more clear could it be? How much more clear could it be? All right. So Psalm 106, 12 through 13. Psalm 106, 12 through 13. Then they believed his promises and sang his praises. All right. Here, get to know that first part. Then they believed. Remember, belief is just me telling the same story. They believed his promises and sang his praises. Okay, cool. It starts off real good. And then what happens? But they soon forgot what he had done and did not wait for his plan to unfold. Whose fault is it? When the shit don't unfold in your life. It's us. It's us. We've already read. We already see Hebrews 10:23. He who promised is faithful. I just have to be faithful to myself. The human mind is a very beautiful instrument, right? We have memory. We can go into the past and pull up all kinds of bullshit. But most people, because of the way that the world has taught us and programmed us, use our memory simply to pull up reminders of when things went wrong. If you go ask the random person, go tell a random person your biggest dream. They might say, whoa, buddy, don't you think you should have a backup plan? Be more realistic. And we know that be realistic means be more negative. This is what it means. When somebody says be more realistic, they're basically telling you, hey, please, buddy, hey, slow down on the optimism. Don't you see who's in office right now? Don't you see who was in office the last 4 years? The economy is just getting better, right? We will make all kinds of excuses, whether you hate them or love them, right? We'll outsource our power to other things. Slow down, guy. Slow down. You're sounding real optimistic there. You got to have a plan A, B, C, and D, all right? And if that doesn't work, have an E. All right? So in the middle, God tests what is real in you. Now, I put this in there intentionally. In the middle, God tests what's real in you. Is it that God is testing you? No. It's because you have to test yourself. You are the one who has to be committed and faithful to yourself. If you want to think of anything as a test, this is the test. Your ability to stay committed to yourself is the test. God's not testing you. Life is just being a perfect reflection. You're not being tested by your reality. You don't have to go through the dark tunnel to get to the light at the end. You don't have to go through bullshit to get what you want. This is all human thinking. This is our way of trying to explain why we don't have what we want. Oh, well, things have to get better, or worse before they get better. No, they don't. Who says that? Remember, the only law is I am. That's it. Everything after that is a concession. Everything after that is invoking God's name. So why the hell, if I don't want to experience that, why the hell would I sit around and say it's got to get worse before it gets better? You got to hit rock bottom before you get up. Hell no, you don't. No, thank you. No, thank you. You don't have to do that. I've been there and done that. You don't have to do that. It's just that when we tend to get to the quote unquote rock bottom, right? There's this beautiful thing that happens. It's called surrender. When you get to the point where you do not know which way to go, you truly become that seed planted in the soil, in the darkness. You are in that metaphorical womb. You don't know which way is right and wrong. I've done everything that I can, God, and now I have to surrender. I don't know what the hell to do, but I know what I want. And then all of a sudden, things click. Why is that? It's not because you hit rock bottom. It's because you finally surrendered. It's because you finally gave it up to that greater mind. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with rock bottom. That was just something that knocked the sense out of you. So now you stop trying to bring your logic into a spiritual process. That was it. This is a powerful moment. When your back is against the wall, this is a powerful moment. When you have nothing left to lose. When you have to do this like your life depends on it, this is a powerful moment. You don't have to wait until it gets shitty. You can make that decision right now. Right now. Right now. Okay? So this is the middle, where miracles are not always obvious, but God is always present. Source heard you the first time. Reality is already rearranging for you. But are you going to continue to be who you are? Are you going to continue to remember who you are? Be still. Take a deep breath. Let it out. And know that you are God. No matter what you're feeling. No matter if you're doubting. No matter if you feel anxiety. No matter if you're worrying. No matter if your mind is racing. Be still and know that I am God. God does not need your ego. I am does not need your ego. It doesn't need your ego. It doesn't need your feelings. It doesn't need any of that. It simply needs your faithfulness to it. I am transcends all of the human constructs that we put. It does not need these things. I cannot emphasize this enough. I am does not need your feelings. I am does not need your subconscious, nor does it care about your subconscious. There's only one mind. I am does not need your nervous system regulated. I am does not need you to feel safe. I am is safety. I am does not need you to feel good. I am does not need your gratitude. I am does not need your love. I am simply is. It's all that there is. It's all that there is. Be still and know that you have whatever you want no matter what. You sit in the middle of a miracle and still ask for signs. You're in the middle of a miracle and still asking for signs, okay? So number 3, the silence of the tomb. Jesus in the middle. Jesus representing your I am awareness, right? Jesus in the middle. All right. On the cross, Jesus cried, "It is finished." But before resurrection, right, there was stillness. Between the death and the rising, there was the tomb. There was the tomb. All right. So John 12:24. Truly, truly, I say to you. Whenever you hear that, truly, truly, verily, verily means real talk. Sit down, pull out your notebook, pull out your pen, open up your notes section. Hear this. Hear this. Hear this. Truly, truly, verily, verily, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. It's interesting how scripture always uses like seeds. Always uses seeds, right? Truly, truly, I say to you, listen up, real talk. I say to you, unless a grain of wheat, okay, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth, falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. Unless you die to who you think you are, you remain alone. Unless you surrender to that greater part of you, you remain alone. All right, Genesis 2:2. And on the 7th day, God rested. Now let's break down both of these. So John 12:24 was first, and then Genesis 2:2. All right. I got you. That's what I'm here for, all right? There are seasons where the dream must die. I'm going to let that simmer for a little bit. There are seasons where the dream must die. Not because it failed, but because it must be reborn in a deeper form. Unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. Jesus wasn't speaking of his resurrection, right? But of the law written into all things of the divine. that what is destined to multiply must first be buried. The wilderness. It must go into that womb, into that void to be reborn. The death of the ego, the silence between the promise and the proof, the letting go of how you thought it would happen. This is the death. This is the letting go that I'm talking about. The letting go of how you thought it would happen. Let your ego scream, kick and scream. Let it doubt, but you stay faithful to I am. The letting go of how you thought it would happen, all of it is holy. It is the descent before ascension. It is the crucifixion before resurrection. It is the death of the phoenix before the rebirth, the surrender before glory. Your vision is not lost in the dark. It is planted there. And what dies in trust, hear this, this is a powerful one, right? Let me put this in bold. And what dies in trust rises in power. What dies in trust, what I surrender with trust, when I just be still and know that I am God in trust, it rises in power. Before it's multiplied, it must first be buried. Do you hear this? Do you hear this? Okay? And then here we go. And on the seventh day, God rested. Seventh day, God rested. Was he tired? Well, what happened? Why did he rest? Not because he was tired, but because he knew the work was complete. It must be metaphysical. It must be metaphysical. Not because he was tired. He just rested. He was tired. I got to rest. I got to take this day out of the week to rest. He knew the work was complete. Creation was declared good. And there was nothing more to force. The light bulb. There was nothing more to force. It was done. I'm already it. I've already declared that I am it. And now I rest. Now I surrender on the Sabbath. This is the void, the womb, the Sabbath. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. That's surrendering to that greater part of you. All right? This is the rhythm of divine manifestation. Action. What is the action? Faith without works. What is the action? I am that I am. It's that work of me telling the same story. Action followed by faithful stillness. Too often we believe more effort equals more outcome. I've been visualizing every night. Got my visualization schedule. If you got an alarm on your phone for what time you got to visualize in the firm, hey, slow down. Slow down. What are you making it about? What are you making it about? Are you making it about the technique, or are you making it about you? If you feel like, I just can't wait till I get home. I just have to go do my visualizations tonight and my affirmations tonight. You're already that person right now. You're already that person right now. You don't have to do anything. Cool, go do those things because they're fun, so you can appreciate it, so you can enjoy having it right now, but you don't have to do that shit. Me saying I have to do it is me saying, in order to get what I want, I have to do that. I'm making it conditional. You already are that person right now. You already have it. You already have it. You already have it. You are already perfect. Do it. Do it for that reason, right? It makes you feel good. Do it because it makes you feel good. Do it because it's fun. Do it because it's fun to experience what I want right now. But I know I already have it, and reality is simply rearranging to meet me. I have already become it. The moment that I said I was it, I'm it. I've already become it. It's reality that's rearranging. Every time you say another affirmation doesn't make reality rearrange more. You just do those things to remind yourself who you are. You visualize to remind yourself who you already are. Reality is already rearranging. It's already trying to catch up. It's huffing and puffing to catch up to you. It needs to be you because it is you. It is you. Okay? Rest is not retreat. It is the loudest declaration that it is already done. Oof. After you have planted, after you've spoken, after you've believed, you must let the soil do its work. You must learn to rest like God. Because you are. I hope a lot of light bulbs are going off. Sometimes we just have certain discussions that I feel are more powerful than others. This is one of those. Okay, this is one of those. After you have planted, after you've spoken, after you've believed, you must let the soil do its work. It's already done. Source heard you the first time. God heard you the first time. You must learn to rest like God, not in exhaustion. I'm just so tired. I've been trying to manifest for hope. What does trying to manifest mean? You just become it. You just assume that you are it right now. Just say the word. I'm not worthy. Lord, I am not worthy to receive you, but only say the word. Only say the word. I am it. I am worthy, and I shall be healed. Only say the word. Say the word. I am. And that's it. That is it. That is it. That's exactly it right there, right? Like all of these things, all they do is they take you out of flow state. Trying to get too caught up in the processes, too caught up in how things look, too caught up in, I have to embody this worthiness and I have to walk around and be love and I have to give in the external world to receive. No, you don't. It's all yours by right of consciousness. By right of consciousness. Simply be still. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am. All right. In the mystery of the middle, something is always dying, so something greater can live. The silence is not proof that God is gone. It is proof that he trusts you with darkness before daylight. I know. All right. So what to do in the middle? We got a 4-step plan. What to do in the middle? What things should you focus on? Number 1, anchor in the end. Go to the end and stay there. Go to the end and stay there, okay? Live from the promise, not the process. Live from the promise, not the process. Assume it's already done and let your actions reflect that reality. Let's give an example. I want to make sure y'all understand this. Let's give an example. What does it mean to go to the end and stay there? What does it mean to live from the end? All right, let's say, I'm going to ask y'all, let's say that right now, okay? Right now, I want this woman, this beautiful goddess in my life. And I said, okay, she is mine. She's mine. This is the woman I'm going to marry. Now, let's say that I'm walking through life 3 days later and I see something I don't like. I see something I don't like. What is walking in the end right there? How should I react to this situation? How should I react to this situation? Before you answer, just know it's a trick question. Before you answer, just know it's a trick question. How should you react to this circumstance? How should you react to this circumstance? You blessed me by being here. You blessed me by being here. All right? Not react at all. Okay, cool. Okay, don't react. She's yours. All right, cool. You notice it and let it pass. Okay, cool. Neutral. Okay, by not reacting, don't react. Okay, you don't. All right, let me say this. Okay, let me say this. Even saying not reacting, what if you did react? Does that mean you wouldn't have it? I thought it was already yours. I thought you were already in the end. So why do I need to not react? There we go. Know that it is mine no matter what. It doesn't matter what I do. There's infinite ways for me to get what I want. Infinite. It's already mine. Who cares how? Like we are the ones who make these things conditional, right? Oh, I have to not react. I have to react this way. I have to remain like this. I have to do this. I don't have to do shit. I already have it. And if I forget for a second, I simply need to remind myself of the truth. I am that I am no matter what. I already have it no matter what. Infinite ways. Not 3 or 4 ways that your human mind can perceive. Do you know what infinite means? It means beyond countable. There's over 1 billion, 1 trillion, a quadriquadruple zillion. However, whatever the highest number that you can think of, it's infinitely more than that. That's how many ways there are to get what you want. So you don't have to do shit. If you want to block them, you can do that. If you want to tell them to get out your face, you can do that. You can do all, it does not matter what you do. You have it. It is yours. It is yours. All right. Now, let's look at some scripture to back this up. Isaiah 46:10. Okay. Isaiah 46:10. What does that say? Declare the end from the beginning. Oh. Declare the end from the beginning. Declare it. Thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be. So I say what it is. Oh, I already have it. It's mine. Boom. It's done. Now, everything that happens next is the bridge of incidents. Everything. Everything. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Doesn't matter how you react. It's all the bridge of incidents. Remember God, y'all. There's only one power. There's only the source that flows through you. It's only one power. Make the decision, stick with it, and know that it is done. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. They didn't reject you. It's just still unfolding. Don't react to the middle like it's the end. The end is the end. You already have them. So obviously, if I already have them and I'm living from that end, whatever I see in the middle, it's still just unfolding. If they don't react the way that I want, so what? I already have it. I go on about my business. I react however, and I know it's still mine. I remind myself of the truth. Don't make it conditional. It's never about what I have to do. Who do I have to be is always the wrong question. Hear this. What do I have to do? Who do I have to be is always the wrong question. The right question is, what do I have to remember that I already am? What do I have to remember that I already am? This is unconditional. This source within you is unconditional. Don't add conditions to it. It gives you the option to add those conditions. Don't do it. Don't do that shit. You don't want that life. Get what you want unconditionally. This is the law of being, the law of assumption, the law of whatever I say it is. So that's how you handle the circumstance where they've rejected you. There's no rejection. It's just the middle. The middle is not the end. The middle is not the end. All right. So that's number one. Anchor in the end is the first part. Number two, sanctify the silence. I know you like that. Sound a little poetic. Sanctify the silence. Alex, what does that mean? Don't mistake the lack of noise for the absence of movement. Oh. The absence of noise for the absence of movement. Exactly. They're not the same. I've been doing this for so long and nothing is changing. Whoa. Everything is changing. You just haven't seen it. Everything is changing, right? This is the story that always tells a simple story, but I say it all over and over again because I was given permission to say this. Right? The moment y'all give me permission to use y'all success stories, I'm using them all the time. But what was it? It was this dude, he wanted to be with this woman that he worked with. He just wanted to get to know her, right? Just, get to know her. Nothing wrong with that. And then what happened? When we talked, he said, you know what? As I've been saying that she notices me, and I've been affirming for it, but she never notices me. She never notices me. I said, whoa, bro, that's just a story that you're telling. She always notices you. You just never notice her noticing you. And it was like, oh, you're right. I'm just telling a story. I've just been telling a story this whole time. She is always noticing me. I just have not noticed it. Now what happens the next time they talk? I notice that we've been noticing each other. It's almost as if there's only one mind. It's almost as if whatever I say is what it is. It's almost as if whatever I expect is what it is. Beautiful. Beautiful. Everything is always changing. If you stare at a plant, a blade of grass, a flower for 24 hours, you might come back to me and say, I didn't see shit. It didn't grow. It was growing the whole time. The whole time. The whole time. All right? So sanctify the silence. Don't mistake the lack of noise for the absence of movement. The seed grows in silence, and so do you. I love the way that scripture uses like the plant analogy, mustard seed, and the wheat falls on the ground and dies, then it must be multiplied, right? Isaiah 30:15. Let me give you a little verse to back this up. Alex, you're just taking this out of context. Okay. Sit down and learn you something. All right. Isaiah 30:15. In quietness and trust shall be your strength. In quietness and trust shall be your strength. Sanctify the silence. Don't mistake the lack of noise for the absence of movement. The seed grows in silence, and so do you. That's the third thing that I do. Okay, don't mistake the lack of noise for the lack of movement. Number one, I go to the end. Number two, I do not mistake the lack of noise for the lack of movement. It's always moving. Bless the bridge. Okay, bless the bridge. Don't resist the unfamiliar. It is the sacred corridor between dimensions. The sacred corridor between dimensions. Remember, in my Father's house are many mansions. You are the Father's house, right? You are the temple of the Most High, the temple of the Holy Spirit, right? That's what you are, right? You are the house. All right. Now, a different mansion within that house is what? It's a different dimension. What is a different dimension? It's just a different perspective. Every time you change your perspective from this shit's not working out to it's always working out for me, you just switch dimensions. Just with those little statements, you just switch dimensions. That's as easy as it is. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. You are the Word made flesh. Beautiful, right? Don't resist the unfamiliar. It is the sacred corridor between dimensions. Walk it, praise through it, learn from it. What if it doesn't look right? What if I see rejection? What if it looks unfavorable? What if it looks the opposite of what I want? Bless it. Job 22:28, thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be added unto thee. Thou shalt decree a thing. Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be added unto thee. Isn't that beautiful? All right, now let's look at another verse to bless the bridge. Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. Damn, it feels like I'm reading an instruction manual right here. It feels like I'm reading an instruction manual. It's almost like this was intentional, okay? Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Basically, that's still your man. Basically, he's still your man. Basically, she's still your woman. No matter what you say, she's still yours. He's still yours. Precisely. All right? Number four. Fourth thing, all right? So number one, go to the end. Number two, do not mistake the silence for not moving. Number three, you bless the bridge. I don't care what it looks like. Situation might not look ideal to me from a human perspective, but the God within me is perfect, so the situation must be unfolding perfectly. Why? Because I said so. Simple as that. Because I said so. Simple as that. Number four, watch your words. Don't curse what God is still forming. Don't treat the middle like the end. It's just unfolding. Stop acting like this is the end. I want to throw in the towel after 3 days. I've been affirming that for 3 days. And get your ass, come on, man. Stay in the end. Stay in the end. Stay in the end. Stay in the end. Do you want it or not? You already have it. It's just unfolding. It's not the end. It's just the middle. It's just the middle. Don't curse what God is still forming. Speak only what aligns with the end. Speak only what aligns with the end. Joel 3:10. Let the weak say, I am strong. Let the weak say, I am strong. Not let the weak feel that I am strong, right? Okay, cool. Not let the weak reprogram their subconscious mind until it is strong, and then they will be strong, right? Okay, cool. I didn't think so. Not let the weak reprogram a nervous system. Okay. Not let the weak not react to a situation that looks unfavorable so they can get what they want. Simply let the weak say, I am strong. Simply go to the end and stay there. Proverbs 18:21. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Now remember, we talk about life and death. We're not talking about the physical version of death, right? We're talking about death, rebirth, that cycle. The spiritual person, the mystic, right? The reborn does not fear death because they've died 1,000 times, infinite times. Every time you take on a new perspective, that old version of you passes away. It fades away into its reality. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. The life of your desire and the death of it as well is in the power of your tongue. Beautiful. This is beautiful. This is your 4-step process. These are the 4 things you got to work on. 4 things to remember. Remember, this document will always be on YouTube. It's always on YouTube. You can download, you can do whatever with it. All right? But those are the 4 things. Number 1, go to the end and stay there. I know, because you're always like, give me practical ways to do this. Here you go. Number 1, go to the end and stay there. Number 2, sanctify the silence. Do not mistake silence for the lack of movement. Number 3, bless the bridge. It doesn't matter what it looks like. The situation is unfolding perfectly because the God within me is perfectly perfect. And then number 4, watch your words. Watch your words. Speak in alignment with the end. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. Now, number 5. Not number 5 thing to do. Section 5. The mystery is the proof. The mystery is the proof. You wanted the promise to appear clean, direct, and undeniable, but God hides glory in mystery. So only those who walk by faith can hold it. Notice, I didn't say God hides glory in suffering. You said in mystery. Mystery. And then number 3 was, number 3 was bless the bridge. Bless the bridge of incidents. All right. So notice, I said God hides glory in mystery. Not God hides glory in suffering. Suffering is purely a human construct. It's something that we do. It's something that we create. Okay? God hides glory in mystery. In those times that we think nothing is going on. The times that we think it looks different. This is when it's time to buckle in. This is when it's time to fasten your seatbelt and remember who you are. All right? So only those who walk by faith can hold it. Let's do it. Proverbs 25:2. Okay? Proverbs 25:2. This is a banger right here. This is a banger. Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. To search it out is the glory of kings. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. To search it out is the glory of kings. Luke 1:45. Blessed is she. Now I have to switch it up. I always say, right, when we say he and the son, right, these are genderless roles. Remember, you play every role in scripture. You play every role. So I got to switch it up. Just to remind you, you play every role. She, he, doesn't matter. It's interchangeable, okay? Blessed is she who has believed that the Lord would fulfill his promises to her. Yeah, I know. Be still and know that I am God. Hear that. Blessed is she who has believed that the Lord will fulfill his promises to her. All right, let's go through that. God wraps truth in mystery, not to hide it from you, but to invite you deeper. The concealment is not punishment. It is glory folded in silence. Beautiful. There are divine matters that do not shout. They don't arrive in lightning. They unfold like hidden scrolls, one revelation at a time. The glory of God is to conceal because those who truly seek are not looking for proof. One more time for your mind, all right? The glory of God is to conceal because those who truly seek are not looking for proof. I am the proof. I am the miracle. I am the light. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the light. I am the way. They are looking for presence. And it is the glory of kings, those who know their divine authority, to search, to seek, to knock, knowing that the mystery is a mirror. And what they uncover is not just truth, but themselves. Look at that. I know sometimes I can hide a bar in there, okay? Those who know their divine authority. This is your divine authority. Seek and you will find. This is your divine authority. When you know your divine authority to search, to seek, to knock, knowing that the mystery is a mirror. The mystery is a mirror. The manifestation I'm waiting for is just a mirror to who I have become, to who I am now. It's just another perspective of me. Reality is just taking another vantage point of me. Beautiful. And what they uncover is not just the truth, but themselves. Beautiful. And blessed, not busy, not perfect. Blessed is she who believed. All right, we're going to talk about the second one. Blessed is she who has believed that the Lord would fulfill his promises to her. Blessed is she who has believed. Key word, believed. All right. So blessed. All right. Blessed is she who believed. All right. Not busy. Not blessed is she who is busy. Not blessed is he who is busy. Not blessed he who is perfect. But blessed is he who believed. Not because she had the full picture, but because she trusted the one who promised. Look at that. Not because she had the full picture, but because she trusted the one who promised. This kind of belief is not soft. This is warrior faith. The kind that waits through silence. Oh, my bad. This is warrior faith. This is warrior faith. The kind that carries a word through labor. I hope you caught that, right? We talked about the womb earlier, the void, the wilderness is the womb. All right? This is faith. Faith waits through silence. Faith carries a word through labor. Carries a word through labor. That was a word right there. The kind that rests not in sight, but in spiritual certainty. Mary wasn't praised for her understanding. She was blessed for her trust. So are you. When you believe in the unseen, in what has not yet taken form, but must, you become a living womb for the word of God. And that is the true glory, to carry the promise like it's already born. This was a bar, all the way through, a bar. It's just calling you to a greater version of yourself, to a greater remembrance of yourself. Let me put it like that. A greater remembrance of yourself, right? Mary metaphysically, what can Mary represent? All kinds of things. But this is you receiving that promise in the middle of the night, in the middle of the darkness. You get that ideal. It's just you and Source, one-on-one. And you get that promise from Source. And now you carry it to term. You carry it through the womb. Even the husband, I'm sure, was looking at her a little crazy, like, pregnant by who? Say, what? What you mean? The same way the outside world's going to judge you. People were trying to take it away from her. But you had to walk by faith and not by sight, right? But then when that beautiful manifestation shows up in your life, this is like the birthing of that Christ consciousness within you. I've never been a victim. I've always been one-on-one with Source. I never need anybody to bring my child into this world, because reality is your child. Remember, even when we talk about the story of Job, what does the wife represent? Job's marriage to the external circumstances. Not to the external circumstances. Job's marriage to reality. You're always married with reality. You and reality are one. You and reality are one. All right? Cool. So reality is like the child that you birth from your knowing, through your focus, through your expectation. It is you. It is simply you. Right? You carry who you're being to term, and reality reflects it. Reality has this gestation period, and then all of a sudden, boom, it pops out. This is beautiful. This is poetic. All these stories are so meaningful. They're so meaningful, all right? So walk. Walk and not with doubt in your eyes, right? Walk through the doubt, through the anxiety, through the fear, with fire in your steps. Walk like you're in the middle of a miracle, not the middle of a mess. Walk like the author already wrote the final chapter, because he did, because you have. You've already seen the end of the movie. Act like it. Okay? Act like it. All right, so in conclusion, faith is the currency of the middle. This is where destinies are forged. Not at the beginning and not at the end, but in the middle. When nothing makes sense and you walk anyway. When the doubt is screaming, but you walk anyway. When the anxiety is crying out to you, but you walk anyway. But you walk anyway. When you haven't seen it yet, but you becoming anyway. All right? Now, Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith. It's the evidence of things hoped for. Or the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. All right? And then here's a quote by Barbara Johnson. Faith is seeing light with your heart when all your eyes see is darkness. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, right? Faith is seeing light with your heart when all your eyes see is darkness. Beautiful. The middle is holy. The middle is proof. The middle is God's invitation to become the version of you who can carry the promise all the way through. Carry your manifestation to term. Carry it to term. Be faithful to it. Be faithful to yourself. Be faithful to yourself, all right? So we got 3 reflection questions that we got some affirmations. Number one. Where in my life have I mistaken divine mystery for absence? Where in your life have you mistaken divine mystery for absence? You mistook the silence for God not being there. And how can I begin to see the hidden as holy rather than withholding? This is a simple shift of perspective you have to choose. You're always making a choice, right? It's either I am or I am not. You're always making a choice of I am or I am not. And I am not is an illusion. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't exist. I am not. You are, period. But you can create the experience of I am not. Stop creating that experience. Where in your life have you mistaken divine mystery for absence? Everything must be moving because you say so. Even saying, oh, I've been affirming, but nothing's changed, it makes no sense. It's just an affirmation. I'll say, okay, do you realize that you're creating that reality right now, right? You're creating that reality. All right, number 2. So, do I trust the promise enough to carry it in silence? Do I trust the promise enough to carry it in silence, even when there is no external proof, the way Mary did? Do I trust the promise enough to carry it in silence? Can you stay faithful, even with the outside noise? Can you? All right. And last but certainly not least, right? Last but certainly not least, what truth might God be inviting me to search out? Not by striving for answers, but by deepening my intimacy with him. I appreciate that, man. Since you're a success story, it just keeps unfolding and getting better. It has no choice. It has no choice. It continues to unfold because you're remembering who you are. I love that for you. You deserve every moment. Enjoy every moment. Enjoy every moment, love every moment, and allow it to keep unfolding. Matter of fact, I did see it, but when I saw it, I was out in Michigan. I just didn't go back. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out today. Okay, today. And then what truth might God be inviting me to search out? Not by striving for answers, but by deepening my intimacy with him. I am, and I say so. That's it. There's the secret. There's the greatest manifestation technique ever. I am, because I say so. I am. Everything is unfolding perfectly because I say so. I am because I say so. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right? Here's some affirmations. We got 8 of them today. These are short and sweet. These are short and sweet. Short and sweet. All right? Number 1. I walk by faith, not by sight, even when it doesn't make sense. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what it is. All I put in and expected from SP was meant to be given to me by me. That's all we're ever doing. That's all we're ever doing is we're choosing our experience. We're choosing our reality. Well, you know now. There is no past. And knowing that right now changes the past and the future. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you didn't know before. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know it now. All right. So affirmation number 1, I walk by faith, not by sight, even when it doesn't make sense. I walk by faith, not by sight, even when it doesn't make sense, especially when it doesn't make sense. Number 2, the middle, my bad, the middle is not the void. The middle is not the void. It is the womb of vision becoming real. I am in the womb And it's all unfolding. Reality is unfolding for me. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This shit works because I am and I say so. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. All right, number three. Number three. God is just as present in the silence as in the miracle. God is just as silent. Ooh. God is just as present in the silence as in the miracle. It's all a miracle. It's all a miracle. It's all always unfolding no matter what. No matter what. Because I am and I say so. Facts. Number 4. My trust in the promise is greater than my fear of the process. My trust in the promise is greater than my fear of the process. All right? How can I fear when I am source? How can I fear when I am the divine? How? What am I hiding for? Why do I need to react a certain way? Why don't I just speak what I want? Why don't I just speak what it is? Man, I'm gonna miss this view. Next. I declare the end and I walk like it is already done. I declare the end and I walk like it is already done. Sure, love you too, brother. Nothing but love. Nothing but love. So I love all of y'all, man. It's like this is community. Right? This is community, all right? I declare the end and I walk like it is already done. Next up. I bless the bridge even when it is unfamiliar. I bless the bridge even when it is unfamiliar, especially when it's unfamiliar, no matter what. I bless it all. I bless it all. I bless it all, right? Two more, right? Every delay deepens my roots in divine certainty. Every delay deepens my roots in divine certainty. Remember that. Remember these affirmations, man. Have some in your back pocket. Maybe there's certain things in your life that are more difficult to get through than others. Right? Maybe there's a couple things that are more difficult than others. Use some affirmations. Yeah, well, affirmations are like weapons, right? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Your word is your wand. It is your sword. Okay? It is your sword. So when you are encountering things that you don't like, or things that give you doubt, etc., remind yourself of the truth. How are you combating what you see? And yeah, I distribute the copies of the doc. Absolutely. So every single live that I do, I put the doc on the YouTube. As soon as we end this, I'll upload it, and it's all y'all's. It's all y'all's. You can download it. So I put it as commenter, so you don't change the original text, but that way you can download it and everybody can make their own changes. All right. So I don't give editing access, but you can always download it. You can always view it. You can do whatever. You can copy it, paste it, make a paper airplane out of it, whatever you want. All right. And then last but certainly not least, okay? Last but certainly not least, I am not stuck. I am being shaped for glory. I am not stuck. I am being shaped for glory. How can you not find it? How can you not find a document, man? Okay, if you go to the YouTube, right? If you go to the YouTube, matter of fact, if you go to YouTube and you watch this, you can come to this time marker and I'll show you exactly how to get there. All right? So if you go to YouTube, all right, let's say you go to Unconditional Love is a Secret of Manifesting. All right. All right. So on here, all you got to do is go right here, hit more, and then the second link, it'll say link to document. You click that and it'll take you right to the document. Boom. So you can reference that when you're looking for it. You can reference that. All right. But let's see. I got a couple minutes. Let's do some questions. If y'all have questions, let's talk about them. And then you can rewind it. You can rewind it. You can rewind it and see it. Y'all are funny. You can rewind it and see it. All right, but let's do some questions and then sure, let's break it down. If y'all want to, hold up, how much battery do I have? 14. Yeah. If y'all want to join on TikTok, you can join. We can talk about whatever's going on, whatever you want. All right. Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, yeah. So the more you live by this, do I think that the faster results of it? Um, I think the more level of awareness that you have on your words, and the more, the more that you just develop that unwavering muscle to continue going to the same story, absolutely. Things show up fast to the point where things could show up instantly. Things already do show up instantly. It might just take us a little while to actually see it. But absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. All right, no visitors today. No questions. Nobody wants to join. I'll probably end this one then. So even things that we might label as a mistake happened for the best, for the best for us. If that is your story, yes. If your story is opposite of that, then that is true as well, right? It's always just your language. It's always just going to be your story that's paying reality. So if you're walking around saying that, it's just not working out for me, yeah, okay, that's true. That'll be your reality. But if the moment that you say everything is working out perfectly, that's your reality as well. If we are our own creators, do we bring in our triggers to learn something left behind? You could say something like that. That's a very interesting way to put it. You can say something like that. Sometimes, sometimes. The more you do develop your energy centers, your chakras, right? Those energy centers in your body, there are certain ones that do travel with you, that can travel with you, which can make it easier to access certain things. But, okay, one of the stories that people will tell is they will say things like, oh, I came down here to learn lessons for my soul's growth and the suffering that I went through, that's meant to put me into a better person. Okay. That sounds a little rough, right? If that is your belief, then yes, that's what it is. But why not simply make your belief that you're just down here to learn yourself as the creator? To create. You're down here to create, to experience yourself as source and walk into a beautiful version of your life, right? I think whatever we believe, that's the experience that we create. If I constantly will believe that I'm just here to learn a bunch of lessons, well, shit, I'm going to be in that reality. If you want to do that, cool. I think some people do really enjoy going down that path. But if you don't have to believe that. It's up to you. Remember, there's only one law. The law is I am. I am that I am. That is the law. Everything underneath that law is just you invoking God. It's just you creating your experience. You create your experience in a very profound way. So if I believe I'm coming down here just to learn a bunch of soul lessons and go through heartbreak, well, that's what it is. That's what it is. That is what it is. And do I practice Reiki? I don't. I don't practice Reiki at all. At all. Do I believe in it? Do I believe it can impact me? No. But I don't believe anything can impact me but me. So I don't believe there's any external power. I don't believe that there's, well, let me rephrase that so people think, oh, you don't believe in God? there's the spirit of God, right? And the spirit of God is all that there is. And I'm the identity of that spirit. So all the power of that spirit is within me, right? It's flowing through me. And that's all that there is. There's nothing else. There's no devil. There's no saying I don't believe in any of that shit. Do I believe that somebody could perform those things on me if I wanted them to? Sure. If somebody wanted to do something energetically to me, sure. But outside of me allowing them, you would have no power over me if not given from above, right? If I don't accept, if I don't give away my power to somebody, they have no power over me. That's my belief. And I think it's a healthy belief for anybody to have. You know, what makes things real? What makes the zodiac sign real? Now, are these things real? Sure. You can give me the proof of them. And I've told you, I had a very profound mystical experience that pushed me into astrology at first. But then I came into the realization that I was using it as a limitation. I was like, oh, it's my sign, and my house is here, and yada, yada. And I was just creating all of these prisons for myself to live in. And that wasn't, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't conducive to the life that I wanted to live. So these things can be a guide to where I can transcend, or they can be a prison for me to live in. Right? It goes so far, this is how far or how deep our beliefs go, is that if I believe in the zodiac sign deep enough, I can tell somebody, I can say, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not, you still abide by it. And because my belief is that, I will pull forward a version of them who is in alignment with my beliefs and expectations because I say so, right? There's only one law. I am that I am. That's the only law. That's it. And so everything after that, I'm creating the rules for my reality. So I can understand blessing circumstances as the middle and a perfect unfolding. But if I haven't had success in the past in manifesting an SP, how can I stop the pattern? Well, first, recognize that there is no pattern. Recognize that the past, the things that you bring, the things that you're thinking right now about your past, they're just thoughts. It's just a story. So it's not like you're not going back and saying you haven't manifested anything, you don't have proof. You're saying, right now, I'm the person who doesn't believe. And so I'm using the proof of the past. I'm using the past. I'm dragging the past into the present, and I'm using it as an excuse to tell this story. Remember, there is no past. There is no past. There is no future. There's only right now. This is where your power is. And if we continue to drag our past into the present, we're just creating more of that. The truth is that you can have whatever you want right now. Everything. And you have it right now. Grant it to yourself. I am that person. I have what I want. And now walk through life and know that. The work is already done. The moment you decree it, the work is already done. Don't put your power in affirmations. Don't put them in visualizations. Don't put it in reacting a certain way. Put your power in the knowing that I am does the work. The God within me carries out the task. And rest in that knowing. That's how you get from point A to point B. But when we start bringing all of our limitations, oh, in the past I've seen this, or this hasn't happened, or how do I have to react, and all these, when we start adding all of these additional rules, we take away from just the one truth. I have it. That's the one truth. Lean into that truth. Exactly. If you have a memory that's not favorable, remind yourself it doesn't exist anymore. That was a completely different version of you. That version of you, there's a version of you for every moment in your life. There's infinite moments within a second, right? So you're always a new version of you. You're always renewed. This is the only way that we can experience physical reality, is as we're walking through life, we switch from moment to moment so fast that it gives us the illusion of time, of walking through time, right? But everything is done. You have everything. Remind yourself of the truth. I'm not that person anymore. I choose this now, and continue walking in that knowing. Yeah, reality, exactly. Reality shows you how we are being. Reality is that report card. Like I always say, it's the divine report card. It's just saying, okay, well, this is where your expectations were. This is where your beliefs were. This is where your focus is. That's all it's doing. So every moment you're confronting yourself. And then, do I know why sometimes we don't see our desires or stuff we are assuming? What about the delay? Which, yeah, this whole conversation we had today was about the delay and how to handle the delay. The delay is the place where your faith has to be fortified, where you have to lean into your knowledge, where you have to, like, here's the thing, right? You come down here to know yourself as the creator. The way to know yourself as the creator is to persist through whatever you see. That's how you know yourself as the creator. Or else we're just getting blown around like a leaf in the wind, right? Like a feather falling from a tree. If there's a good wind, we move to the left. If there's a bad wind, we move to the right. We have to persist in our knowing until it unfolds. Until it unfolds, right? There is no delay of being. The moment I say that I have it, I am that person. The delay is simply reality rearranging itself to meet me. Am I going to stay faithful to myself in that quote unquote delay? That is where the test is. But it's really just a test of yourself. It's really asking, do you really want this or not? Thank God you have that time, right? Thank God we have that time to choose. Could you imagine if everything you thought just randomly popped up into your reality right now? I know I'd be terrified. Well, there'll be a couple times I'd be happy. Right? Like, oh, look at her. She thick as hell, right? But there will be a couple times where I'll be scared as hell. So this is how you know yourself as the creator, to persist, to choose, to be able to experience what you want. All right? And what would I recommend for things to not feel like waiting? I would recommend making your life fun. Engaging in tasks, engaging in activities, not just sitting around and obsessing about what you want all day. Is your life full of things that you want to do? Or is it full of not even things you want to do, but things that keep your attention, right? When you are at work, are you really working? Or are you just scrolling on your phone, being triggered by social media for 3-4 hours at a time? Right? When's the last time you took a walk and you were actually present in nature? Or are you just walking around worried about things? When is the last time you did those creative tasks that you just got so lost in it feels like time just started flowing? Is your life actually full of things, or are you just sitting around? Remember, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. This is when we start doing the quote unquote overthinking that leads us to doubting and leads us to telling a story against what we want. It is that. That is the time, that devil's workshop, that idle time. So when I will advise y'all on how not to wait, I would say make your life engaging. Do things. Do things. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Right? Do all those things. Exactly. Writing those new stories and moving forward. Your situation was canceled. You chose it, right? You choose your reality in every moment, which is absolutely beautiful. You're never a victim to anything. You're never a victim to anything, okay? Why have I gained, lost, and found myself so many times? Just a constant shift in my belief. Who says that you ever lost yourself? Who said that you ever found? Who said you were ever lost, right? Who's the one telling that story? Who's the one who is aware of that story? It's you, right? You couldn't be lost. You're already all that there is. You were just choosing different perspectives to experience life through. So yeah, the second question is right. Just a constant shift of your belief. That's all it is. A constant shift of your perspective or of your belief just puts you in a different reality. That's what it is. And so, yeah, we kind of give human meaning to it, and we try to use our logic to explain and be like, well, I was lost and I was fine, but you were never lost. You were never anything less than divine and perfect and whole. You just chose to experience life through different vantage points. It's our desires telling us what our soul needs at the moment. Your desire is telling you what you are. It's telling you that you want to experience life from a greater perspective, from a different perspective. It's telling you who you really are. So you accept it as true. And now once you accept it as true, that's who you really are. And everything has to bend to match you. So it's just an invitation. It's source wanting to experience it through you. And it's you being reminded of who you really are. Keep on persisting. Keep on persisting. I love to hear that. I love to hear that. Keep on persisting, right? Everything is yours. It's all yours. It's all for you. It's all for you. Then how do you get around being around people who have bad karma? Do I believe in that? Nobody has power but you. What does that mean? Being around people who have bad karma. Do you believe that somehow their karma is going to rub off on you? That can only impact you if you believe it. Things have no power over you unless you give them power, y'all. No power. If I sit in here and I'm like, oh, Alex, no, you don't understand. I have this soul tie and it's just holding me back. It's your reality. Who's telling the story? Who is aware of that story? Awareness is reality. Remember, everything is meaningless until your story is put on it. Reality is meaningless. Erase your memories of your mother. She's meaningless to you. The only reason she's meaningful is because you have a story attached to her. Everything is a story. This is what reality is. It's a story. Everything is just meaningless, waiting for you to attach a story to it. No one's karma can rub off on you. No one's bringing you down. No one's holding you back. No one's stopping your manifestations. Nobody is giving you limiting beliefs. You're just accepting them, right? We are the only power in our reality. Stop giving your power away. Stop outsourcing it. Stop outsourcing your power. And I believe in manifestation, but yet I don't believe in energies or law of attraction. Oh no, I believe in energy. Don't get me wrong, I believe in energy. Let me be more clear. Nothing has power over me unless I give it power over me. So I can believe in energy, I can believe in voodoo and all these things, but do I believe it impacts me? Fuck no. Hell no. It can only impact me if I give it the ability to. If I'm a black, let's say that I'm a melanated, a carbon being, and I'm out here saying how the government's gonna beat me down, it's gonna attack me, and it's gonna do some shit to me. Guess what's gonna happen? Guess what I'm speaking into belief? Guess what I'm speaking into reality? The moment my mind starts to go down there, that's it. It's a wrap. Nothing has power over you unless you give it power. Nothing unless you give it power. All right? Oh, do I see the world perfect as in it's a good thing, or perfect as in it's enough and no need? Perfect as in it's enough. Everything already exists. If I don't like it, I just choose different. But it's the perfect environment for me to learn who I am. To learn who I am, right? And yeah, I believe in the law of attraction, but I also believe that your feelings are a very low way to create. Your feelings are a very low way to create. It's a very difficult way to create. And the universe gives you what you desire when you truly believe in it, yeah? And even belief, like when we say truly believe, we kind of attach a feeling to that. Remember, there's no feeling. It's me telling the same story. I simply choose. I am does not need my feelings. I am does not need my love. I am does not need my gratitude. I am does not need my nervous system. I am does not need my subconscious mind. I am needs nothing but my faithful commitment to it. This is when we say faith without works is dead. Like, thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be. Not thou shalt feel a thing or reprogram a thing and it shall be. You simply decree it. You speak as the legal authority. It just needs your faithfulness to your story. That's it. It just needs you to choose. Make a choice. Pick a side. Stop being double-minded. Pick a side. By how did you give it power? By not letting it go. By not letting it go. Not by talking about it. Remember, like, so think of it like this. You can watch a movie, and just because you watch a movie, and you talk about that movie, does that mean that the things that you saw in that movie are gonna happen to you? No, because you don't identify with it. Just because you talk about somebody having power or having energy or whatever, doesn't mean it's gonna happen to you. You can say, oh, that shit is not gonna happen to me. You just don't identify with it. It has no power over me unless given to it from above, right? So don't think of it as a process. Think of it the same way you think of everything. You get to choose. You get to choose. Yeah, absolutely. Reprogramming the subconscious mind is such a limiting belief, because nobody can tell me when it will be reprogrammed. People can tell me I have to do it, but nobody can tell me that I have to reprogram it or when it's going to be reprogrammed. Nobody can even explain what the subconscious really is. You can tell me what you heard, but you can't show me it. You can't touch it. It's just a concept that we've heard. And because it's a concept, it's just a story we've heard. And so we've internalized that story, and now it's our reality. I'm not arguing if it's real or not. Sure, it's real, I guess, from a scientific perspective. But who measured this? Who took a picture of this? Who did that? Like, how do we really know it exists? Right? I've said that I have people just argue for their limitation. Oh no, bro, you don't understand. The subconscious mind really is real. It's been holding me back. It sounds like a story to me. It sounds like a story that you're making up to me. Right? What is science? What is science but an explanation on the unexplainable? We talk about quantum physics and the double slit experiment. Like, are these really truths? Or are they explanations of the unexplainable? Think about this. Are they really truths? Or are they explanations of the unexplainable? Is the subconscious mind really a truth? Or is it an explanation of the unexplainable? Things like the Big Bang. Things like our language. Can our language really comprehend the unexplainable? Is our language really built to explain the infinite? Our language is built to explain things from an egoistic perspective. But once we get into the realm of source, we start talking about infinite, and our minds can't even fathom infinite. You think of infinite, your mind just thinks blank and big and a lot. You can't even, you can't get to that amount of it's beyond your understanding. Infinite is a number that's too much for the human mind. What do you mean infinite? It means never ending. We can understand it as a concept, but it's just an explanation for something unexplainable. Right? For something unexplainable. So all is unfolding perfectly is saying all is enough, not necessarily good, bad, but no need. Exactly. It's all unfolding perfect. It doesn't mean it's perfect right now, right? It doesn't mean, from my human vantage point, it doesn't mean it's perfect, but I know in the story of all that there is, it's absolutely perfect. It's unfolding perfectly. It's all that there is. How could it not be perfect? I am already fulfillment. I'm already infinite versions of myself. The universe is me. How could I not be fulfillment? Me calling it what I'm not makes me experience what I am not. And I don't want to experience lack because I am not lack. So I bless everything as perfect the same way I bless myself as perfect. That makes sense? You said, but you're still hurt about it? Okay. You try to let go, but you're still hurt? I would ask you this: why do you believe that being hurt about it and letting it go are one and the same? Or why do you believe that you have to not be hurt about it to let it go? Who says? Who says you can't be hurt about something and let it go? Who's telling that story? What is letting it go? How would you define letting it go? Never thinking about it again and never feeling it again? Does that mean I've let it go? Remember, like, all these things are explanations, right? Confront your expectations. Confront your stories. What is letting it go? But a word, but a choice that I make right now. And that's another choice that I make right now. Then it's another choice that I make right now. And then I string all of these choices and beliefs and expectations together, and I get stories and reality. This is what everything is, right? Letting go is a choice. The choice you make right now. That's it. Make the choice right now. Make that beautiful choice right now. Say it. I let it go. I let go of everything that doesn't serve me. I let go of everything that does not serve me. I let go of my expectations so the divine can work beautifully, wonderfully, divinely in my life. I let go of explanations so everything can be added unto me. I let go of expectations so I can seek the kingdom and all things can be added to me. Just let it go in the moment. And then do it again and again and again. There's only one law, I am. Whatever you say, you are invoking the name of the Creator. This is a journey of erasing your limiting beliefs. These are why we have these discussions. This is why I love y'all's questions, right? Because we start to get down to the same thing. Just let it go. Just tell a different story. Just let it go. Just tell a different story. And I really want y'all to confront yourselves about these. Does this imply that I don't have what I want? Why do I believe letting go is this? Why do I believe I have to feel this way to accept that it's mine? Why do I believe that? Who told me that? Is this really the truth, or is this my truth? There's only one truth, I am. I am that I am. It's one truth. Everything else is a concession. Everything else is a story. You are all that there is. All right? So continue to confront yourself. You are the formless, shapeless, infinite potential of I am. You are everything. You have the ability to be everything, to experience everything. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Where did I put my phone? My other phone. Oh well. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. 9:17. No, it's not lost. It's no loss in the kingdom. I know where it is. It's on my bed. But I was texting somebody, kicking my feet up and behind me, excited. Nah, I'm just playing. But it is on my bed. All right, y'all. I'm about to end this. I gotta finish packing. Like I said, I gotta move Friday. So I got the whole kitchen. I got everything in the kitchen. Basically, when I move, I just kind of throw everything away and then start over. There's only a couple of things that I really keep. All right. So I'm going to finish doing a little bit of packing tonight, do the bathroom, and then get ready to start moving stuff tomorrow. It says still at the storage. No, not in the storage. I'm at one spot. I'm gonna start moving my stuff tomorrow. I'm for sure gonna miss it, but I have to. But honestly, do I even let y'all into my life that much? No, y'all let me into y'all's life and trust me. So my mom has been sick, right? So I'm moving a lot closer to her because I need to take her to treatments. My mom has cancer, right? But long story short, I told y'all a little bit about this. She had stage 4 lung cancer and thought she only had a little bit of time to live. This was years ago. But, I saw her in a certain way. And it's been a wrap, right? We found this experimental drug that basically binds to the tumor and shrinks it, right? It was a trial. It was one of those medical trials. So she's been prolonged. So she goes to treatment a lot and moving and driving all the way over there and taking her. And sometimes, I feel like going over there, I can help her more. I can just enjoy her more. And you already know. Yeah. It's all good. She's healed. She is healed. I don't even identify with her as somebody that's sick. I don't identify her as even though she'll say it and I'll be like, okay, whatever. But she's been so good. She's taken, what's the name of the drug? She just switched to another one. Because the second one, right, it was the second trial. The first one, it knocked the tumor, because the tumor was big as shit at first. She had 2 of them in her lungs. One was huge. It was so big. It was scary as hell when I first saw it. I was like, oh shit. It's not there anymore. So it shrunk down a lot. It's almost gone now. And so then she just switched on another one because that one was becoming less effective. But it'll be gone. It'll be gone soon. She'll be cool. So she has to do therapy and I just try to spend as much time because it's not like I do shit. I just sit here and do live streams and trade and write. So I was like, you know what? For the next year or so, I'll go be closer to her. And I've been looking for I've been looking for a house too. So, I've been looking for a house. So I was like, you know what? This, and it's been a calling. Like my spirit has been calling me to do that, to spend more time with her. So I appreciate y'all. Yeah, for sure. It'll definitely be wholesome for both of us. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to being around or being very close. And then we have family in Nigeria. We have family all over the place and we help them a lot. So getting closer will just allow me to help my mom, my dad more. It can help them a whole lot more. So this is more so a decision rooted in purpose and love, right? One of the things that I've been realizing is I've spent a lot of time focused on myself, focused on my success. And I spent a long time like grinding away and trying to do stuff and trying to be a good trader and trying to do stuff when I was working in tech. When I was doing all these things, I always had my head down and I was just working. And I had this goal of what I thought was success. And that goal has changed. It's evolved so much. But the thing that I'm constantly made aware of is service. Right? It's one thing that makes me feel good. It's why I do these streams and we just talk for hours and I try to help as much as I can, right? Because these are things, it's just who I am. That's what makes me feel good, is to try to help other people. Help you get the things that you want, right? And that extends to my family as well. I have a lot of family that I help. And so I'm like, you know what? I have an opportunity to do that. I have an opportunity to move closer. I have an opportunity to really help take care of them for a year in a way that really is meaningful. Right? So I can give back to them, like not just like financially, because I'm doing that. And I've been doing it with presence, but I can do more presence. I can give more presence. Because life is finite. Yeah, okay, my mom's healed, cool. However, this human vessel doesn't last forever, right? So all in all, it's still we still are only here for a finite time. Let me experience people as best as I can, right? Let me make good memories that I can be proud of for the rest of my life. Who knows what could happen? Who knows what could happen? Who knows, like me driving to the crib one day, that could be a wrap. Who knows if, who knows what can happen? We just never know. Tomorrow's not promised. There's only now. Right now is the only moment that exists. It's right now. So with that knowing, it's like, I can just do it. And I talked to my sister about it for a while. And I was like, I plan on doing this and really downsizing and just pouring into them. And there was no doubt. As soon as I thought, I was like, there was no doubt. I've been called. I've gotten so many synchronicities, so many signs that are pushing me down. And I'm like, okay, you're right. And what a blessing it is to be able to do that. At some point in my life, I thought I would be married with kids right now, right? Because I had a girl I was really involved with, but she passed. And when she passed, that gave me a different outlook on life. And a brother that passed, right? When he passed, it gave me a different outlook on life. So being able to do this from a state of abundance, right? Being able to step in and like take care of people that you love. Who knows if I'll be able to do that in 2026? Who knows if I'll be able to do that in October or November? So it's definitely honor. It's definitely honorable. If it feels honorable, it feels like this is my way of tithing. Right? This is my way of giving back to source, to God within me. Right? Using my gifts for good. Right? I did all this work, escaped the corporate life. You know what I'm saying? Your boy is free and shit. But what am I doing with that? What am I doing with that? So, yeah. I'm excited. Only thing I don't like why I've stayed here so long, because I've been in this spot for like 2.5 years. I've been month to month for a long time. Like, fuck that, I'm not signing another contract. I'll just be month. Every time they send me like, hey, you want to renew? I just ignored it. Like, nope, just keep me on month to month. Keep me on month to month. So the only thing, I just don't like moving. Hate moving. That's why whenever I always move so light. I always end up just throwing shit away. Like if I showed y'all my kitchen is empty. I get rid of everything. Everything. The only thing I'm keeping like some seasonings and stuff like that. And but I've had these seasons for a minute. I'm just gonna give them to my family. I hate moving, though. Moving is man. But it's all unfolding perfectly. It's all for this greater good. So we'll see. We got today here. We got tomorrow here. Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. Got Thursday. And then I'm dipping out Friday morning. I love when y'all call me out. You're right. Let me not talk like that. Let It's getting a little too vulnerable. Let me put that shit back on, right? Everything is unfolding perfectly. Yeah. And yeah, I do like to cook. I do. Whenever I was eating, meat, I cooked a lot more. Yeah, I get rid of everything, right? Because so even the bed I have had the bed, the mattress. I've had the mattress in the box for a couple years. And before I moved it from my last spot here. So I'm like, you know what, just get a new one. This couch, I don't even sit on this couch. It's like a decoration couch. It's just there. I'm like, oh, you know what, let me just get rid of that shit. I've got one chair that I keep that I meditate in, so it's got sentimental value to your boy. But even like my dishes, I get rid of them. I'm just gonna buy a new dishes set. My plates, my pots, pans, all of that, get rid of that shit. Throw it all out. Before I moved here, I put a lot on. I was actually talking to this goddess, and she put a lot of my stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I was like, you know what, just put it all up there. Whatever money you make, you just keep it. Gave her a little incentive to do it. And she sold a lot of my shit. She had people just pulling up trying to get stuff. I was like, hey, yeah, take it. Give me cash, right? So that was pretty cool. And then so this time I didn't put anything on Facebook Marketplace. I didn't feel like doing all that because I waited till the last minute. Put it on here tonight. If anybody buys it tomorrow, I have to wait around for that. Nah, I'll just get it out of here. But I'm putting some things in. I've had a storage unit for a while that I'm putting a couple things in, but I'm like, do I just want to say, look, y'all, I'm giving away shit at this storage unit. Pull up. I could do Goodwill too. You know, good. It's funny because Goodwill, you give your shit to them for free, and then they sell the shit. You're like, hold up, what the fuck? Goodwill is a wild place. You give all your shit to them for free, and then they sell the shit and they make their money, right? You get a nice tax write-off or whatever, but it's like, what is really for profit when it comes to Goodwill? So that's always a funny concept that I didn't get. If they're taking all this shit for free, why are they selling it? Yeah. Don't start trying to make me blush. Don't start trying to make me blush. But let me read that. Let me give myself some flowers right here. Let me read this. Where do we find a man like you? Thank you so much, Goddess. I appreciate you. Glad you're teaching the men to cook, clean, gentle leader, honest, and spiritual. I know. I wonder what I'm lacking. No, I'm just playing. But as your perspective shifts, reality shifts, right? There's certain people that seem invisible to us until we reach a certain level of perspective or awareness or consciousness, and then the world opens up. There's no shortage of people. There's no shortage of good men, of good women. They're all around. But do we have the perspective that brings them in, right? Remember, our story is always creating. So is my story that I attract good women, or is it that women are like this? So your story is going to be very, very important. So you got this. I'm reading a comment off of YouTube. You know, I don't just stream on TikTok. I got like 3 chats up right now. TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Who are you talking to? Somebody's trying to call me out. There are several good people. There are more good people than you know what to do. And you know how to, you can't count all the good people out there. There's too many of them. There are too many of them. But you can only receive what's in your awareness. That's the key. You can only receive what's in your awareness. Reality is just awareness. Am I sure? Are you sure? I guess that's that. Am I sure that reality shifting in multi-dimensions is real? Am I sure about it without a shadow of a doubt? Without a single doubt? I know it. It's beyond sure. And really, even the fact that we have those things that reality shifting and multiple dimensions is real. It does not matter what my belief is. It just is. It doesn't matter what my belief is. It just is. All right? This is what we call a quantum leap. All of a sudden, a father gets incredible strength and can run into a building and rescue a child when the house is on fire, right? And comes out without a scratch, even though a post fell on him, right? Superhuman feats that we have. We'll try to put scientific explanations on it and say things like adrenaline and all this, but this is you tapping into your multidimensional self. This is you pulling that infinite version of yourself within you or in you. You no longer cared about the physical repercussions and you just went. I don't feel shit. I have one goal, one mission. Nothing else matters. I am single-minded. Oh, I wonder what that means. Single-minded. I am single-minded. Can you count 100% that your manifestation is coming? Yes, you can. You absolutely can. You absolutely can. And can I explain that? Miss Her, what do you mean? Which statement? Because I know I've talked about a couple of things. But I absolutely can explain it. Which part? I absolutely can explain it. Which part? Even if it looks impossible, to man, it may look impossible, but to God, nothing is impossible. About awareness, about pulling the right people in your life, of course. Thought, intention, behavior, congruence of emotional alignment. A great thing has happened. Oh, go and tell me. Go on and tell me. Tell me what has happened. Tell me what has happened. And yeah, the one about awareness. So what I'm saying is this, right? And I've said this a lot recently, but let me try to say it in a different way to make sense. Okay? Try to say this in a different way. I'm going to be very clear about awareness. Reality is meaningless. Okay? Reality is meaningless. Remember, even when you're saying, I am waiting 5 months, 5 months, right? Even when you're saying that, you're affirming. I'm not laughing at that question. I'm laughing at I'm just overjoyed with the abundance of money has touched my. You know what? It's like every day y'all every day y'all starting to come with the success stories in the chat. Fire, fire, fire. But right now, when I say that nothing is happening, I'm affirming that right now. The past doesn't matter. The future doesn't matter. They don't exist. They're not real. What am I saying right now? What am I saying right now? What am I saying right now? Thank yourself. Thank yourself, girl. Thank yourself, right? It's all you. No one else deserves the credit but you. It is all you. It is all you. It is all you, all right? So awareness. Reality is absolutely meaningless. Okay? This is the best way I can explain it. The person that you love the most. Think about the person that you love the most right now. Everybody do that. If you did not have any memory of them anymore, you would wake up, look at them, and they would be absolutely meaningless. They would mean nothing to you. Why? Because you don't have a story. What is a story? Huh? What is a story? If you did not have, if you did not have a memory of anything, who would you be? Would you still exist? Yes, you absolutely would still exist. You would still, but what would you be? You would just be awareness. You would simply be I am. Who are you? I am. I just am. If you had no words to explain yourself, how would you explain yourself? You simply are awareness. I simply am that I am. I just am. This is the only law of the universe, is awareness. Everything falls under this law. Everything under this law is you utilizing God and you pointing God to what you want to create. All right? Then stop waiting. Stop waiting. You already have it. No more waiting. All right? So now, everything is pure awareness. As we go through life, what happens is that we develop stories. Sometimes we develop stories from our experiences. Sometimes we develop stories from what people told us. So, you're always either creating the reality that you want, or you're creating someone else's reality. Okay, let's give an example. You've been walking through reality. You have a breakup. You open up Instagram and you hear somebody saying, these women ain't shit. You got to be 6 figures. You got to have 9 inches of vibranium in your pants. You got to make this amount of money for you to keep a woman. And even then, she'll still leave you. What can I do? I have a choice. I can accept this. And if I accept this, that's my reality. Or I can choose my own destination. All right? Now, if I have a story that says women are difficult to get, if you as a woman have a story that says men are difficult to get, man, there's just no good men these days. Men this generation, women this generation, bro, you're not gonna find this kind of woman in the West, right? All of these limiting stories, are they reality? Are they truth? Or are they simply our explanation of our reality? Are they the truth? Let's give another example. Let's say that you meet a woman today, or ladies, let's say you meet a man today, okay? You really like him. He dogs the shit out of you, dogs you out, hits you, ghosts you. All right, cool. Now let's say he meets another woman the next day, falls in love with her, treats her like a queen, faithful to her, never disrespects her, loves the shit out of her, gives her whatever. You have 2 different perspectives of him, right? Which one is true? Is what you believe about him the truth, or it is your explanation of the story? Is your explanation of him? Is what this other woman believes about him the truth, or is that just her explanation of him? So people experience different versions of people all the time. Which one is the truth? Which one is the truth? They're all just explanations. We're all just going through life telling stories about reality and believing that they're the truth. But that story is not solid. It only exists right now in this moment. And because it exists right now in this moment, you begin to project your mind into the future and try to think of how things can match. And you project your mind into the past, and then you try to pull up examples of how this might be true. That's it. This is what your awareness is. This is what I am is. It's just pure awareness. This is what you are. You're pure awareness. Pure awareness. All right? So what is true about the story? You saying it makes it true. What makes reality reality? You saying it makes it reality. Outside of your story, it is meaningless. Meaningless. People can come up to me and they can tell me whatever they believe about women, about the woman I'm talking to, about my homeboys, about how money is difficult to get. They can tell me whatever. Who makes it true? When does it become truth? When does it become truth? When I accept it as truth. When it becomes my story, this is when it becomes truth. No arguing for limitations. Stop that. No arguing for limitations. You have none. You have none. You no longer argue for your limitations. Life is just a story. And guess what? If it's just a story, we think that we have to go through time in this linear way. Because I've went through this in my past, I must go through my past to get to the future. Because I went through this past, I have to go through the past to get to a new future. You don't. You don't have to worry about that past. You simply have to focus on what you want. Life's not linear. It's not linear. And it depends on which woman he really likes that gets the better version of him. It depends on that. Okay, that's one way to think about it. But now I want you to elevate. Okay, I want you to elevate. What does it really matter? Which woman he really likes? Or which woman expects the most out of him? If I walk into a relationship and I expect that all women are like this, if I expect that these women just be ghosting your boy, if I expect she only wants one thing, she just wants that rod and that's it. If that's my expectation, guess what? Reality says, yes, sir. It says, yes, sir. So is it which one he likes, or is it which one expects him to like them more? What is your expectation when you meet a woman, when you meet a man, especially one that you like? What is your expectation of them? That they're gonna treat you like the God, like the goddess that you are? That they can't get enough of you? At the moment that we have a conversation, she's out of there. She's gone. She's in love with your boy. She can't get enough. What is your expectation? Well, God can choose whoever I want because that's just who I am. What is your expectation? Or is it up to them? Thou shalt have no false idols. I am the Lord your God. You shall have no false idols besides me. Right? Remember, Scripture says, whatsoever you ask will be given. It doesn't say whatever you ask minus people, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Whatsoever you ask minus people. Is that what it says? Whatsoever you ask, but don't see people, don't change people, right? It even says, forgive others so your Father in heaven can forgive you. But if you don't forgive others, your Father in heaven can't forgive you. If you don't see them as perfect, then your Father can't get on one accord with you and actually bring the perfect version of them in your life. It's all awareness. It's just a story. Nobody has free will but you. They have free will in their own reality, but fortunately for you, this is not it. You're not an NPC in their reality. You are all that there is in this one. Say that again. There is no magic outside power stopping you from getting what you want. It is you and your thoughts. There's no test out there. There's nothing putting you through shit. There's nothing out there. There's nothing outside of you. And if the purpose of consciousness is to be conscious of something, and there's nothing outside of you, then what should conscious be conscious of? What should consciousness be conscious of? It should be conscious of itself. It should be conscious of itself. You are everything that you desire to be right now. There is no separation. Anything that implies that you are not the person that you want to be right now is an illusion. It is a lie. It is an illusion. It is a lie. I want you to take all your power back. I want you to walk around like nobody else has free will. You do what I say. You do what I expect. You are who I say you are. I don't have to do anything. What do you mean? That did sound wild when it came out. But I figured y'all were all on the same page as me. No one has free will but you. Your expectations give them meaning. Your expectations allow them to step forward in a certain way. But when you start seeing people as perfect, guess what? You give them the space to step forward as the perfect version of them. What is perfect, Alex? What is perfect? It's whatever you say it is, right? I am that I am. That's the only law. I am that I am. I am all that there is. Okay. Nah, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. You're just waking up. Your mind's just expanding. Your mind is just expanding. Your mind is just expanding. It said there's nothing called perfect. Where does that expectation stem from? Is that the truth, or is that your explanation for your reality? Exactly. Exactly. What you say is exactly what it would be. It's interesting, right? Because when we start thinking like, oh, it's crazy, it's delusional. No, it's your explanation of it, right? It's not the truth. What is the truth? There's only one truth. I am that I am. I am pure awareness. Everything else is your story that gets carried out by the God, by the divinity within you. All right? That no one is perfect, right? You see people as perfect and they show up as perfect. What does that mean? As perfect for you. Reality is perfect. It is done. Everything is perfect. It's all unfolding perfectly. But if I expect that nothing and nobody can be perfect, well, guess what? Guess what? Reality says yes. You're only limited by your own expectations, by your own versions of the truth, by your own thoughts. You're never telling it like it is. Why we get so caught in our ego. I'm just telling it like it is, bro. It's just how it is, bro. No, it's how you are. This is how you are. This is not how reality is. It's never just how it is. It's how you are. Right? So what if we really crazy? I'm not. I don't know what we you talking about. You must be speaking French. Who is we? What does we mean? I'm not crazy at all. You know what is interesting though about that is that whenever people are like, oh, it's crazy to think of that. You can't just be delusional. I'm like, you've been delusional your whole life. You have been delusional your whole life. If you start telling your big dreams to somebody with a small mind, they're gonna say, "Oh, be realistic, calm down." They're gonna tell you to be delusionally negative. No, no, no. Be delusional and stay negative in this box, which is always so interesting, right? So you're always being delusional, right? Reality is only catching up with what's going on in here, and so we're always telling a story and speaking it into existence. Always. You're always living in the end of something. You're always speaking things into reality. Right? You're always speaking things into reality. You're always in the end. Always. Of something. Why not make it what you want? Yeah, and creating from emotions is extremely limiting. Because if I have an interesting conversation with my family and I lose a loved one or whatever happens, I get cut off in traffic, all of a sudden you telling me if I'm pissed off, I'm out of alignment, you know, it's very difficult to tell somebody to embody the feeling of wealth and then you will get money. And then all of a sudden they get that knock on the door that says, hey, look, the rent's due. You got to get the fuck out of here. How do I feel wealthy? How do I embody with that? So oftentimes we're just guessing what the feeling is, which creates even more confusion. Or like, okay, did I do it right? Oh, I feel good. This must be what it is. But if I feel bad, that's not what it is. This is a very difficult thing to do. Creating with emotions is extremely limiting. Extremely limiting. Okay? You don't have to do shit to get it. You are the process. You are everything you desire to be right now. You are source. Source is within you. How could you be anything less than perfect? You are the wealth you seek, the prosperity you seek, the love you seek. It's all within you. What story are you telling? Even when we talk about being, we think being means acting a certain way or changing. How do I have to act to be what I already am? How can you try to be what you already are? You already are all that there is. Stop trying to be worthy and simply know you are. Stop trying to be like source. Stop trying to be in alignment and simply know that you are. Just know that you are. Just make, this is the law of assumption. This is why the law of assumption is so powerful. That word assumption is so powerful because even Neville says what? A mere assumption. It is a mere assumption. The only reason you don't have what you want is because you refuse to believe you already are that person right now. This is the key right here. The reason most people don't have what they want on this manifesting journey is because they refuse to believe that right now they already are that person, no matter what. You already are that person. You already are this person. Yeah, you got to feel safe. You got to feel safe. Regulate your nervous system to get it. What? What does that mean? Regulate your nerve. Okay, so even when we say things like that, it's just some imaginary finish line. It doesn't exist. How do you know when you've regulated it? How do you know when you've reprogrammed your subconscious mind? Enlighten me. Who can you go to the doctor and say, hey, can you test if my subconscious mind is reprogrammed? Can you do that for me? Can you just just scan me in real quick, doc? No, it's just a make-believe future point. Where, oh, one day when I go down this path, myself, you can't even prove to me. Nobody can prove to me the subconscious is real. You've never seen a picture of it. You've never measured it, right? I'm not arguing if it is real or not. Not arguing that. I'm saying you can't prove it to me. It's just a story. And if the only law is I am that I am, I can't on one hand say your thoughts create your reality, but then say, but your nervous system, but your subconscious, but this, but that. Which one is it? Which one is it? It's simply your thoughts. It's simply your expectations. It's simply your knowing, your being, your assumption of who you are. That's it. That's it. Right? Yeah, exactly. So the subconscious is the one conscious reality of everyone sharing that same conscious. Right. So there's only one mind. When we get down to it, there's only one mind, right? There's only one mind. This is why you affirm things and people just walk up and say the shit to you. Which is always so divine. Which is always so divine. But there's only one mind. We as humans try to explain it. Right? We'll give things, we'll say the superconscious, the subconscious, the conscious, the unconscious, right brain, left brain, all of these things, right? We try to explain it. We try to explain it through these things. But there's only one reality. There's one mind. That's all I need to know. There's one mind, one conscious mind. My beliefs create reality. What I'm expecting, that's what reality is doing. So if I'm expecting I have to reprogram something, I'll constantly be put in a position where I get more reinforcement that that's what I have to do. That's the problem with it, is that you're creating reality on all aspects of your beliefs, all aspects of your assumptions. All aspects of your assumptions. So me thinking that some future version of me, after I've done this work, is worthy, I'm just saying I'm not worthy right now. Remember, you're always saying I am or I am not. So me assuming that I am not, why would you do that? Why would you assume that you're not anything? You're already all that there is. You were made in the perfect image of the Creator. The perfect image. The absolute perfect image. I embody love and my kids just automatically want to hug me. It's incredible how quickly reality responds to you. Knowing yourself as source. I know myself as prosperity and money flows to me. Like the God has said, right? I went to sleep and woke up with abundance. It changes overnight. This is a source of all of a sudden. One moment I was struggling. The next moment, all that there is. But we are the ones who limit it. And we'll be like, oh, well, the prosperity I've been praying for, it must come from this. We're the ones, right? We are the ones who attach ourselves to things. Oh, I'm trying to find the good out of these situations. That's what was said yesterday, right? I'm trying to find the good in these situations. Why? What if it's beyond your logic? What if you just need to expect good in the next situations? Expect good right now. We start finding purpose in digging through the pain. And guess what reality gives us? More pain to dig through. We start finding purpose in going down this quote unquote healing journey. That's how people end up in therapy for 15 years. A lifelong commitment to therapy. Damn, you still ain't healed? There's nothing to heal. Just me digging for shit. I'm always going to find it. I'm creating a reality where I find more and more and more and more and more shit to dig, to do. Because reality says, as within, so without. What you are is what we are. What you are is what reality is. All right? We talked about the 5 levels of reality creation, right? Where level 3 was, I healed to be worthy. Right? So the 5 levels, number 1 was what I used to get. This is what we call narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, right? People that use other people to get things. But this is actually, we have those languages for them, but this is a lot of people. There's quite a few people stuck in that. Number 2 is what? I am to be, or I am to be. I do to be, not I am to be. I do to be. What does that mean? I identify with my social status, my job, right? My family status. But you're more than that. I find this is where I get my definite purpose from. This is what defines me, how the external world views me. He's a firefighter, he's a doctor, he's a lawyer, he's a whatever. Right? I get my purpose. He's a father, he's a son, right? But you're much more than that. The next is, there's more to this life, right? I heal to be worthy. So now I start digging up the past. This becomes a hamster wheel in itself. The more I dig, the more I find. The more I look for healing, the more I find. I'm not saying don't heal, right? Don't get it twisted. What I'm saying is don't associate the healing journey to a manifestation journey. Don't feel like there's a carrot at the end of the hamster wheel. There's a carrot dangling at the end of the treadmill. There isn't. There's just more treadmill. All right? There's more treadmill. This is when it gets confusing because people are getting into the self-development space and the manifesting space at the same time. And they're like, Alex, I've been doing this for 6 years. Doing what? Trying to be worthy. Healing my childhood trauma. Reprogramming my subconscious mind. Oh, well, reality is saying if this is who you are, you're the person who does this, let's give you more of that. Hopefully that clicks. Hopefully that clicks. All right, next is I am the author. All right, you get out of that healing hamster wheel and you realize, oh no, right now I am the author. Who I am is what reality is, as within, so without. I am the author. My words, my thoughts create reality, so I'm very mindful. But there's still separation. You still believe me in them. And then there's the fifth level, I am. I am that I am. There's no as within, there's no without. There's no separation. Reality just is me. That's it. It's just me. Who I am is what reality must be. Right? So those are the 5 levels of reality creation right there, which is beautiful. Which is absolutely beautiful. Don't you love a little deja vu? Don't you love it? Don't you love a little deja vu? Give me more. Give me more of that shit. Kelsey, you missed everything, man. No, I'm just playing. You already have all the answers. So you're not trying to get anything from me. You already have all the answers. It's already yours. My bad, I keep ignoring Instagram. Why don't y'all see? I put on here, go to the YouTube or the TikTok. There's a link tree in the bio that y'all can go to. Cause opening up the Instagram chat is very, very, it's a lot. I would stop going on it, but I still want the message to reach who it needs to reach. I'll put it like that. Will I continue my lives? What do you mean? Why wouldn't I continue my lives? Huh? Why wouldn't I continue my lives? You tell me. It's your reality. Am I going to continue my lives in your reality? I thought I was getting off too. I thought I was going to get off too. Yeah, I'm going to continue these lives. I have no desire to stop. I'll probably do this as long as I am because this is who I am. Yeah, I'm just on here yapping. Your boy's over here talking. My favorite part of conscious creation is getting to know myself better. Going down this path and realizing that no matter how evolved I believe I am, there's always something that comes up, right? There's always a part of me that's confronting me. There's always some limiting belief. There's always something that I can constantly eliminate, erase, right? And step into a better reality, right? There's always, even these conversations, right? So to even answer that question, when I enjoy these because it does keep me in flow state, right? I write these documents all the time. And I just, whenever I'm able to, or whenever I come on live, I literally just go into Google Docs. I go into Google Docs. And as you see, I have all of these. Some of them aren't even titled yet. I have all of these things. Look at all these shits. All of these, all right? Even down to conquering lust, winning in one area, let that shit go, biblical. Look at all that shit, right? So I just pick something and start talking about it. And it keeps me in flow. It reinforces my beliefs. But I enjoy the flow state. I enjoy surrendering. I enjoy being still and knowing that I am source. All right. Yeah, the human experience is wonderful. I always, you'll hear people say, oh, I don't like it here. It's ghetto. I'm tired of reincarnating. And I'm always like, what would you rather do? What would you rather do? right? What would you rather do besides know yourself as the creator, right? So, it's a process that I enjoy. Even getting glimpse into quote unquote past, future lives, right? Even remembering that there is no past, there's no future. There's just one moment that's superimposed. There's moment on top of moment, right? There's just one moment. Past lives, future lives, all of it is happening right now. But even getting glimpses into that, I know I've been wild. I know I've been wild in lots of lifetimes, right? But that's the beauty of the human experience, is that no matter how far you wander, how far you travel, guess who's always waiting for you just to turn back and say, I am. That's source within you, right? That's source within you. And I am actually writing another book right now. That book that I wrote, I was in a different season, the masculine, or the modern warrior. That one was for men and looking for purpose, navigating relationships, things like that. That really wasn't an esoteric book. I talked a little bit about sexual discipline in there, about your purpose, right? Finding how to find purpose in your life and how your purpose is your shield. But I am doing one that's on reality creation. The thing with me, right, is that I write so much and I have all these documents, right? The thing about writing a book is you got to get to a point where it's like, okay, what is enough? What is enough? Because the more that you write, the more you can expand. There's always a different perspective that you can get, right? You go back the next day and you look at what you wrote and you're like, yeah, but let me say it like this. So it's this constant evolution of you. So you got to get to a point where eventually you're like, okay, this is enough, which is always difficult. I had that challenge in the first book. I had so much of a challenge of that. And I think I got it because I wanted it to be very short and concise. But this one, I don't. I don't want it to be short and concise. I want this one to be all encompassing, right? Right. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I respect all of y'all and appreciate all y'all. I appreciate this journey that we're all on together. And my favorite part of the day is just waking up. Waking up and being like, it's another day to create. It's another day to create. Yes, I definitely do. And I wouldn't even call that a struggle, right? Writing something and then learning something new. I would just call that expansion. The point or the reason that we're infinite beings, right? Infinite beings. What an infinite being is a being that is already all that there is, but it's always still expanding. Because we think of infinity as this fixed thing, but it's not. It's always expanding more. So why we even have the same conversations from different vantage points over and over again is because there's always a new perspective. You're new in every moment. This is why we can say the same thing in so many different ways. This is why you'll never run out of content. You just start talking. Right? You'll never run out of content. You'll never run out of things to write. So that's the beauty of being an infinite being. That's the beauty. Shout out reptilians real. Of course. Of course. Of course. Do you believe you're the only ones out here? You believe we're the only beings in this universe? Surely we don't believe that. You can look out at night and see all these damn stars. You think all of them bitches is empty? You think all of them are empty? Oh, living amongst us? Yeah, for sure. But also remember, right? Do things have power over you if you don't grant them power? No. But yes, this is a melting pot. Like the same way we say the United States is a melting pot, right? This earth is a melting pot of several different things, right? There's all kinds of things here that there's all kinds of things here. So yes, there's different species living amongst us, right? Whether you want to call them obvious extraterrestrials, like things like the reptilians or the Pleiadians or whatever you want to call them, or if you want to just look at certain animals, right? If you think of like an electric eel, what does the electric eel comes from? It spawns. It doesn't even have reproductive organs. It spawns. It comes from the Bermuda Triangle. This is an electric animal that lives underwater. It's ridiculous. It defies physics, right? Where do these things come from? Why is it illegal to communicate with dolphins? To an extent, right? It's illegal to try to communicate with them, right? So all of these things that we see, right? Look at an animal like a platypus, right? There's so many different animals that if you look at them, you're like, damn, this defies physics. This defies logic. How is an electrical eel living underwater with no reproductive organs? Where does it come from? What is it doing? They just spawn, right? So there are lots of things that point to the vastness, to the beyond, just to this. Even this earth is beyond our comprehension, right? How much of the water have we studied? I think it's a very, very low percent, right, of the water that we've actually studied. And then when you start reading about the water and the pressure when you go under there, why the hell would I ever want to go under there? Right? Even when you think of space, people are like, oh, Alex, do you believe the earth is round or flat? Don't care. But I'll tell you this, you would never convince me that we actually flew to the moon in a time where we could barely have TVs that were black and white. I can still now drive under a bridge and I can lose service to my mother who's only an hour and a half away from me. I can still lose service. But you telling me they walkie-talkie to the moon? They strapped themselves in this big-ass contraption that fell apart, got to the moon, jumped back in it after they planted a flag on that motherfucker, jumped back in it, and then came back down here sometime miraculously. You're going to have to show me. And here's the thing. I would never let you show me. I would never strap myself in there. So I guess I'll just never know. But it's beyond belief to me. Now, does it mean that it didn't happen? We can make arguments for and against it. Right? I've had interesting conversations with people that are for or against it, right? And it's always interesting because it's always very interesting because you see how fragile the truth is. The truth is very fragile, right? What is the truth but an explanation, right? Even when you think of the trajectory of a rocket, like going up in the sky and then curving. Even when you think of a rainbow, when you look out into the abyss and you see a rainbow, and it's like it's on top, it's like it's on the glass of the firmament. Right? There's all kinds of things that are odd. Now, that's up for everybody else to decide. This is actually where I got on this. This is where I got on this. Yeah, you got to put your tinfoil cap on. So where I got with this is I was on a path where I was always seeking information, right? But then I got to the point where I kind of woke up to my I amness, and I began to think about what information is actually beneficial to my life. Is it beneficial for me to be thinking about things that give me a superiority complex over my fellow God? Right? Or think that I'm less than somebody else. Like, are those healthy things? We can talk about a lot of things. We can talk about, neuromelanin. We can talk about the attachment it has to your sun, right? How your melanin consumes radiation from the sun. How it's certain things in melanin that connects me to the Creator. Does that mean that do I think that nobody else has a connection? I used to. But does that belief serve me in any way? No. It was simply an egoistic belief. So a lot of these things, a lot of the information that we consume, right? One thing that I would constantly say is question it. How does that information benefit your life? Does it make you feel better than somebody? Does it make you feel, like you're better than? Remember, nobody is closer to God than you. You're not closer to Source than anybody else. Because Source is you. Source is within you. So when we go down that path of division, we're just feeding into the ego. That's what we're doing. We're feeding into the ego. The ego loves separation. Me, her. Me, him. Us, them. Me, them. That's it. So how does it serve me? How does that allow me to check with people? How does it allow me to check with people? Let's look it up. Electric eels reproduce during the dry season in the Amazon basin. Males build bubble nests made of saliva into which females deposit their eggs for fertilization. The male then guards the nest until the eggs hatch. Ew. 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 Electric eels are thought to be fractional spawners, meaning they may spawn multiple batches of eggs throughout the dry season. Leading theories suggest external fertilization, where sperm and eggs are released into the water, but confirming this is due to the occurrence in their death. Anyways, basically it's a disgusting process. Yeah, basically. How do you decide what to do now? Okay. What do you believe is the next step? If you are confused about the next step, bless every step that you take is perfectly in alignment. Right? Bless every step that you take is perfectly in alignment. Do that. Do that. Right? Remember, there's nothing that you have to do. There's always something that you can do, but there's nothing to do to get to what you want. There's no magic path that you go down to, reach your purpose. Even purpose is a created thing. Purpose is something that us as humans create. I would love for my purpose just to be to lay up in the forest with no civilization, right? Laying on two beautiful women, right? I roll over on the right cheek and I roll over to the left cheek, and then I get up and go pick a mango out of a tree and bite the shit out of it. A mango with no seed. Could you imagine a mango with no seed? A mango with no seed would kill it. Right? This is an ideal life. This sounds like purpose to me. But what we do is, because we are in this type of civilization, we go through life and we create the concept of purpose, which is fine, which is beautiful. But remember, purpose isn't some magical thing that's gifted. Have you gotten to a point where you found something that you like? I believe that in this season of my life, doing this content serves a purpose. It allows me to feel like I'm helping people. It allows me to connect with people, right? It feels purposeful. It's just an extension of who I am. I don't have to try to do it. I don't have to try to speak. I just get on here with no preparation and I just start going and answering questions. It feels very purposeful. I feel connected to source when I do it. I feel in the flow. I feel good. It feels like myself, right? Whether there's 100 people on here, whether there's 3 people on here, I feel good doing it. So I continue to do it. So what is purpose? Something that we find. What should we do next? What is there to do? See, we've been programmed to think of go, 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 hustle, 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 strive, strive, strive. But even scripture tells you, be still and know that I am God. Sit your ass down, right? If you want to do something, do it. But don't do something because you believe you have to do something to receive it. No, I'm just playing. I say things like two just to emphasize that even the construct that believes you should only have one woman, or you should only have one man, or you should only have 2 women, or whatever, all of that is simply a belief. Who's to say what's right and wrong? Who is to say what's right or wrong? It's just our perception that makes us think those things are wrong, right? I don't think either one is right or wrong. Having 1 woman, having 10. I do think from my perspective, though, I would go into those situations wanting different things, right? Like, I think in my perspective, right? Remember, this is my perspective. It's not the truth. This is just an opinion, a perspective. From my perspective, if I had 3 women, I'd focus more on community, right? If I wanted 3 women, it would be more for building, for having a bunch of kids, for staying at home, while I go out and do stuff and bring home the money. Right? It would be community building, right? But if I was with 1, it would be more so for intimacy, for connection with that 1. All right. That's my perspective on it. I can't find, me personally, I can't see a good scenario where I'm with two women and it's for the intimacy with both or the deep connection with both. That's just not my thing. Now, am I at a point where right now I'm looking for deep connection with one woman? Always. Always. But am I looking for a relationship with the woman right now? Not against it, but I'm not, no, hell no, I'm not looking for that. Looking for it, no, not at all. Right? I've already experienced a very deep love. I've already experienced something very deep. Now, that's another good point. Do I believe that even relationships are needed, that marriage is needed? No. I don't. I believe you have masculine and feminine energy within you. People will say things like, oh, women need men and men need women. No, you don't. You have everything within you that you need right now. Everything else, everything outside of you is just a cherry on top. You don't need shit. Yeah, marriage is a contract, right? When we look at it from a biblical sense, marriage is sex. But when we look at it from a like a Western perspective, marriage is simply a contract that gives you access to one another, that allows y'all to be taxed in different ways. You get a couple government benefits from that shit. That's what it is, right? So, yeah, it's interesting how the structure that we're in infiltrates everything, right? Should marriage be up for why should I have to sign any papers with the government to be married? Why? Well, it's because that's what I've always been told to do. Like if I grow up believing something, that's what I believe, right? We had the conversation the other day on Jesus, right? Like going into the church and worshiping the structure. And then we have all kind of different perspectives, right? Oh, it's not that we're worshiping the structure of this man mutilated on the cross. It's, reverence, or it's remembering his sacrifice, or all these things. These are all, right? What are these? These are all different perspectives, right? But why do I think it's okay? Because I don't think it's okay in any other area, right? If somebody sliced my cousin up with a machete, I would not celebrate his life by having a statue with him with a machete in him, right? So why? Say God's son had no woman and such. So if you ever read some of the Gnostic texts, some people believe that it's not true, but it's still very interesting. I like to read whatever. It's still interesting because, we can say, oh, the Gnostics, that's not real. They're made up. Okay. We want to talk about what's made up or not. That's interesting. Let's talk about the Bible. The first story is about a serpent giving an apple to a woman. What is made up and what isn't? There's a story about a whole group of people walking through the Red Sea. Have you ever done the research on how deep the Red Sea? Matter of fact, let's do it right now. How deep is the Red Sea visually? We believe people walked on water. We believe all of these things. All right, oh shoot, I pressed the wrong button. The Red Sea varies significantly in depth. Approximately 40% of the sea is quite shallow, under 100 meters. 25% is under 50 meters. The deepest point found in the central Suakin Trough reaches 3,000 meters, 9,970 feet. The average depth is around 490 meters. All right. Even when we say relatively shallow, 330 feet, y'all think that's relatively shallow? 330 feet deep, relatively shallow? And then when it gets deeper, 9,970 feet. So it's interesting when we start talking about realistic things. I'll be like, oh yeah, aliens. We have extraterrestrials living amongst us. Oh, that's beyond your belief. But let's talk about turning water into wine. Okay, maybe that's not that believable. Maybe that is believable to you. Let's talk about crossing the Red Sea. Let's talk about walking on water. Let's talk about rising from dead. All of these things, right? So, where do we stop? Where do we stop? Where do we have faith? If we say Source can do everything, if we say God is infinite, where do we put the boundaries on this? Surely we don't think that we're the only planet with life, and this quote unquote Bible was divinely gifted for us. This one planet, the only planet with life to get all the information on the Creator? Surely. Surely, right? So it's always, when we start talking about belief, at what point do we shut down our mind, right? Oh, because it's in this text, then it's real. Because it's not, then it's fake. Right? At what point do we say, oh, well, this and this, we can't do that? You know, if you have an altar in your house that's demonic, but you go into church and they're breaking the blood, they're dipping bread in blood and eating it and saying it's the body and blood of somebody that's hung on a cross on the thing, right? Like at what point do we close our minds to things? Now, if you have firm beliefs and truths and you go down that path, no problem. Your truth is your truth. All I'm saying is, at what point do we lose the interest in opening our mind? At what point? All right? Oh yeah, William Donahue is that guy. You talked about him on a couple of these streams. William Donahue is that guy. He is that guy. He is that guy when it comes to breaking down scripture. William Donahue is that dude, right? There are a couple people that I really pay attention to. William Donahue is one of them. Especially like Neville Goddard, of course. I love Florence Scovel Shinn. But when it comes to actually speakers, I do enjoy Bashar a lot. I enjoy William Donahue. I enjoy, even when it comes to like manifestation channels these days, I have a couple that I really like. I really like The Power of I Am. If you watch The Power of I Am, I really like his shit. Because he's just to the point, right? I'm over here doing poetic shit and starting to say poetic. He'll just give it to you straight. Who are you being? Why the hell are you reacting, right? So I like The Power of I Am. Who else do I really watch? I watch, so even on my YouTube, if I pull up my YouTube, like I watch certain things. I don't watch a lot of content, but every now and then I'll click on something interesting. I used to love Terrence McKenna. I love Terrence McKenna. He's the one who really got me into psychedelics. Terrence McKenna. Who else? I like Terrence McKenna because his grasp on the English language, and it has to be someone like him delivering the message, because the psychedelic journey is so profound and it's so beyond the language that he finds the language that closely describes it. Right? Terrence McKenna he's cold. He was extremely cold. There's only this present moment, right? Which is also another interesting thing. If I record a video, or if somebody records a video yesterday and you watch it right now, when are y'all sharing that moment? You're sharing that moment right now, right? There's only right now. So even alluding to people as was or they were doesn't give it justice, because right now I'm imagining them right now. They're here right now. There is no loss. There is no lack in the kingdom. They are right here. So who else? Like, I don't really listen to anybody else manifestation wise. I do like The Power of I Am. Who else? Who do y'all listen to? Who do y'all listen to for manifestation content? Bob Proctor. Yeah. Bob Proctor that's the dude that always talks about the multiple streams of income, right? Bob Proctor. That's what always gets me, because he'll say things, but then he always goes back to the work. Like, do the work. So I think in my younger days, I resonated with him a lot, but these days, I like his core message, but yeah. Reverend Ike, is that how you say it? Ike, E-K? Neuro Knowledge. I did watch a video of Neuro Knowledge a while back. I did watch a video of Neuro Knowledge. I think it was cool. Oh, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Neuro Knowledge is cold. He's cold. I like the way he does his one take. He does the videos with one take. Anybody that does a one take, I like, because I'm a one take guy. So I like a one take. Dr. Joe Dispenza is for sure that guy. So even Pete Sapper, I don't know who that is. Are there even a lot of people in this space? Are there even a lot of people in this space? And I think I really resonate with people who cut out if the moment that somebody starts to make manifestation conditional, I can't deal with it. I can't, it's not with me. And even these days, I'm so careful on who I listen to, because my mind is a temple, right? My body is a temple. I'm very, very cautious of what I let in here. I don't know who No Frills is either, man. Y'all, fortunately, I always go through the comments, so I'm gonna check out a whole bunch of things. Yeah, Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks helped me a lot when it came to understanding the emotions and what they're trying to tell you, right? Emotional. Pete Sapper is No Frills. Gotcha. Okay, see, I'm glad you clarified that. Right. Brian Withers. Never heard of him either. Brian Withers. But Abraham Hicks really helped me a lot with emotions, understanding your emotional guidance system. Oh, emotions are just my guidance system. They're just pointing me to what I believed, what I didn't believe. She does talk about creating based on feelings a lot, which, but it served its purpose in my life for a lot. Like Abraham, I took so much from that emotional guidance system, and I still talk about the emotional guidance system a lot. What do I have to believe to be true to feel this way? Right, that was more of a revelation I had when I was listening to Abraham Hicks. It was like, oh shit, it's just telling me, it's just pointing me to what I've been believing and expecting. That's it. It's meaningless other than that. Be something wonderful. Be something wonderful. Elmer. I do know Elmer Locker. Yeah, I know Elmer. Elmer. I fuck with Elmer stuff. He's the one who got me into visualization a lot. He has a visualization. I've talked about this in a couple of discussions, where he has a visualization where it's like you sit in imagine, you get relaxed. You imagine you're sitting yourself in a forest or just in a grass field, and you're on a bench, and you can feel the sun hitting you. Then imagine a tree in front of you. You can feel the wind, and then one leaf falls off the tree. And it sways in the wind and hits the ground. And now number 2, and you stay focused until you can get 100 leaves to hit the ground. If you lose focus, you start over. The purpose of this is to improve your focus, because your focus is so key for manifestation. Can I stay aware throughout the day? So it was a game changer for me starting down that path. That's why I always recommend focus with manifestation. Neville's thing also helped me as well. When Neville says, the moment that you get into bed, from that point, now I want you to imagine your whole day in reverse. So the moment you get out of bed, okay, boom, now go in reverse. You're getting out the bed. All right, let's say you're taking off your clothes. You're walking backwards into the bathroom. You're brushing your teeth, right? You get into the shower. You get out and you finish your work. And then you do this and you cook and you ate and you watch this. What it does is it enhances your memory. But then it also focuses you to be more present, or forces you to be more present throughout the day, because you're going to do this exercise at the end of the day, right? So it's a way to keep your awareness up. It's a way to keep your awareness up. It's wild. People have a hard time focusing and visualizing. So there can be a couple reasons for that, right? We had a discussion where we talked about this. And this is just from my personal studies of myself and others, right? It's not scientifically backed. I know some people, give proof, Alex. If you can create a reality, give proof. But one thing that's interesting, when people struggle with visualization, I always ask, how present are you during the day? Like, if you're going for a walk or you're in your place, do you actually just admire, like, do things become so mundane that you ignore them? Or do you catch yourself looking at the scenery, just be immersing yourself in where you are, right? If you're on a walk, are you aware of the colors of the trees? Are you aware of the bugs that you see, of the animals that you see jumping through the grass, right? Are you aware of these things? The more that you're aware of these things, what you actually do is you build a mental storehouse. And in that mental storehouse, now when you go into visualization, you have all these images that you can pull from, all right? So that's number one. Number two is, okay, let's say you can visualize correctly, but let's say you can't control correctly. We had the conversation yesterday, right? When the goddess was like, well, I can easily think of it from third person. So I can see myself doing things, but when it comes from first person, looking out from my own perspective, I struggle. All right. Well, I would ask you, if you have trouble looking from first person, I would ask you this. I would say, when you walk into a room with people that you care about, are you more concerned about yourself, about you having fun and how you would like them, or are you more concerned about how they would perceive you? So are you used to looking at yourself from the outside in, changing yourself to be good for people? And so that typically will show you, oh, I've been putting people first. Well, typically, okay, if you're not in control, you're always seeing yourself from the lens of someone else. Now you go into visualization, it'll be difficult for you to do that. But it's fine. Who is the one that makes the rule that you have to visualize from first person or third person? It's us. We're the ones who make the rule. We are the ones. Okay? Next up, let's say you're having trouble controlling things. If I told you, imagine a cup of coffee. Right now, imagine a cup of coffee. Now it's on a plate, it's on a little saucer. Now pick it up with your right hand, turn the coffee over, pour out the coffee. And now drop the coffee cup, and it falls down and breaks, it shatters. All right, now move the coffee cup to the top left corner of your imagination. All right, now flip the saucer upside down. All right. Now, if you have trouble controlling things, I would say, okay, are there areas in your life where you struggle to surrender? Are there tough things that you find yourself struggling to control things? You feel out of control in your life. All of these things, right? So it's interesting because your imagination is always everything is trying to teach you something about yourself. Everything is trying to teach you something about yourself. All right? Appreciate you. What does it mean if I know I have something to do, but I resist the moment and try not to do that thing, but deep down I feel that's what I have to do, but I am just not going with the flow? Okay, I'm saying this with love. Don't abandon yourself. Do not abandon yourself. Here's the thing. We all know what we should do next, what we're being called to do next. Do it, right? Why is your soul calling you to do that thing? Maybe there's a blessing at the end of it. But if you have this knowing that you quote unquote should do something, why wouldn't you? Right? You're abandoning yourself. But I would also say that you have to also remember that there's nothing ever that you have to do. Right? So from one perspective, I would say that. From the other perspective, I would say, okay, well, why do you believe you have to do it? What is it about this thing that you believe you have to do? Well, I have a paper that's due at this day and I procrastinate, yada, yada. Okay, well, but let's say it's not something like that. Why do you believe you have to do it? Why do you believe you have to do it? Right? So once we get to that point, it's like, okay, cool. Now I see that this might be a belief that somebody else has instilled in me. Speaking of shrooms, I just found a big ass stem. As I was cleaning my cabinet, I have a bunch of herbs. I haven't taken herbs in a while, but I had some shilajit in the back. And right behind it, I had this big ass Big ass shroom. It had to be at least 4 grams. I was like, ooh. Let me not take it right now because I'm not gonna be worth a damn. But I'll probably, matter of fact, I'll probably the first day when I move, I'll probably sit down and eat the whole thing and just chill because I have been. You know what's interesting? Anytime I start getting called to it, all of a sudden it just shows up. I swear I was thinking about this like a week ago and I was like, oh shit, I don't have any. Damn, maybe I should go get some. And as soon as I said that, right, somebody that I'm cool with, they had posted a whole bunch that they had. I was like, ooh, should hit them up. I was like, nah. And now look, I just find this big ass juicy stem. I'm talking about the biggest, girthiest stem you've ever seen. Motherfucker looks like it's gonna take you to Saturn. I said, ooh, okay. So, perfect. No pause. No pause, I said what I said. No pause, I said what I said. The biggest, girthiest stem you've ever seen. Sure, it was a mushroom. The biggest, girthiest mushroom head you've ever seen. Yeah, so I'm cool with the microdosing, but I prefer large doses. I prefer the large doses. Thank you to Neptune. I prefer the large doses. Microdosing is cool, but the biggest. The girth god of mushrooms. Oh my God. It's so girthy, Alex. Yeah, baby. You're the only shrooms I deal with. Deal with fear a lot? Okay, so I don't think there's ever been a time where I've taken a large amount of psychedelics and not had fear. Now, I will tell you, like, that's something that you're gonna have to deal with because there's some people, I've talked to people that have taken these big trips and they're like, oh, I had a bad trip. But then when you really break it down, they were just scared the whole time. They could not let go and they were fighting on something. I had one client, she was like, yeah, I was just falling into the floor for like hours and I was just fighting. I was like, well, that's the problem, right? What the shrooms will tell you is resistance is suffering. Whatever you see, just go through it. If you see, like whatever you see, one thing that always helps me as well is asking, what is the message behind this? I remember one of my first experiences that I've told y'all about. Everything was like melting around me, right? Yeah, let's have trip time. Let's have trip time, right? So everything was melting around me, okay? And this was like one of my first times taking it. This was my first time taking it. It was a lot. It was a lot. 'Cause I just thought I was hard as hell. It's one thing, the fear of jumping out of an airplane is one thing, right? It's still a controllable fear, right? It's a very masculine energy. It's a very masculine energy type thing. There's another fear of giving up your mind, right? There's another fear of giving up your mind. It's a very different, that's the surrendering, right? That's the feminine energy being brave within you, okay? So everything is starting to trip out, right? And I'm getting to a point I feel nauseous. I go to the bathroom. I feel like I was gonna throw up, but then I was fine. Just had to pee. So come back into the room, and by this time it's like the walls are doing the hula hoop. Okay, colors I've never seen certain colors before, right? And like certain smells, right? I could taste them, and it's just a very, very interesting experience. And then when I realized that it was okay, this is really what's going on. I remember closing my eyes, and behind my eyes were like these half human, half beings, like half human, half animal type things. But they looked so mad. Some of them looked disgusted at me. And they were moving closer to me. And I'm like, what the hell? So I was like, oh no, I don't want to be there. So I opened my eyes. And by this time, reality is tripping. So I'm having open and closed eyes visuals right now. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. This is making me sick. I have to close my eyes. So I close my eyes again. And when I close my eyes, if you've ever had a dream that you wake up from and you go back in, it's almost as if time stops, right? When you're not in the dream, the time stops. But in this instant, it was like time didn't stop. So while they were a little distance away in the beginning, all of a sudden they were close to me. And I was like, oh, hell no, I can't do this. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to struggle for this whole time until I simply asked the question. I was like, okay, what are you trying to show me? What's going on? And I immediately got this revelation. It was like, no, these are versions of you. This is you judging yourself. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, shit. All these people are me. These are versions of me. And so then I started to experience different moments in my life, right? Different moments where, I judged myself for quote unquote failing, for not doing something. I had the opportunity to forgive myself. It felt like I was doing this for a long time, but it was quick. And then afterwards, I felt it was like this voice in my head that said, well done. The overlying message was, how could you have love for others when you can't love yourself? Why are you trying to forgive everybody else but yourself? If you are loved, be loved. But these are just versions of you that existed in the past. You're not who you are right now without them. They played a role to get you here. They did the best that they could to get you here. And I just had this overwhelming love for myself. And as I told you, after this, I got propelled out into space, and I went through space for a while. But then at the end of it, what actually happened was I came down into my body and I realized I was being birthed. And so when I was birthed, I looked up and it was my mother and father, right? And they're watching me. I was being born, right? And then I saw them and I could feel the love they had for me. And it just gave me this ease, like, oh shit, I got to do more for them. This was years ago. I got to do more for them. And then I grew up, and what had happened is I actually gave birth to myself. I gave birth to myself. Right? So when I gave birth to myself, I looked at myself and I fell in love with myself truly for the first time. Such a profound experience. It took me forever to really consume it. Even in the middle, this is the trip that really got me into astrology. I went through the universe and I saw the beginning. I saw just pure consciousness separate into two, a masculine, feminine, yin, yang, positive, negative, good, bad, whatever the case may be. I saw the split into duality. And then I saw a third point, the observer, and it made this all-seeing eye. Then it just started to create. It was like I have the choice to choose what I want to create. Now I just create. And I saw planets rise and fall. I saw planets being placed in position with so much precision, it made me feel sick. I could not stand it. I wanted to die and get out of there. But I realized oh shit, everything is so intentional where it's placed. I saw the earth, right? I saw beings come to the earth. I saw all kinds of things, right? Now, do I believe that this is really how the universe was created? I don't know. But I know that it gave me a perspective on the intentional nature of the spirit of God. That this absolutely intentional spirit where everything is done for a reason. There's nothing without purpose, everything. And it was like, and mind you, right? I'm seeing infinite realities. It gave me a new perspective on everything. And so whenever I came down from that and earth, the time came to earth and I saw all these things rise and fall and people come into power. And then all of a sudden I saw my mother and father have me. And it was like, oh shit. They really love me. I have to do more for them. It was the journey of love. Why I say that is if I had resisted the beginning, with those scary things, with those monstrous versions of me, I would have just suffered for hours. I would have just suffered, right? Resistance is suffering. When it comes to those trips, resistance is suffering. If I just sat in there, right, and I was just fighting this vision over and over again, man, I might never have ever taken it again. And that might deny me of some of the most profound realizations I've had. So, yeah, let me get off my soapbox, but that's what I believe about resistance and about those substances. I think they're meant to be used with reverence. We have a very symbiotic relationship with them. I think that they have played a role in human evolution. And I think that they're divinely gifted to us in order to help us. That's what I believe. I think everything is intentional. We have these things to help us. This is even why I believe the government wanted to make them illegal, right? If you remember, we had a time in the States where we had the war on drugs. And one of the things that was going on was, okay, they were pouring in, all these illegal substances into these urban neighborhoods. Why? Because a lot of those people were working in factories. So, like, a lot of black people were working in factories, taking care of their family. Then what did they do? They went and shut down the factories, moved the factories to different places, flooded drugs, and then came up with the 3-strike rule, the war on drugs, right? So now you have a choice. Are you going to feed your family? Are you going to starve? Or are you going to sell this and feed your family? All right, so that's one island of the attack. The other island is that you had a bunch of quote unquote people that they call hippies. I remember when I was younger thinking hippies were crazy. When I think about it now, all they were doing was standing around saying, make love, not war. That doesn't sound crazy. It actually is crazy that we have these bombs and these weapons of mass destruction that we can actually hit a button and we can knock a whole country off the face of the earth. That actually is crazy that we have these egoistic, right? These egoistic leaders that are willing to kill everybody, right? They get into these egoistic battles on social media and in person, right? So which one is crazy? So you had all these people that were starting to take these substances and waking up their consciousness, and they were saying, oh, we're not going to war. All of a sudden, people were like, no, everybody is a human. If you realize the hippie movement, everybody was coming into oneness. Oh, it's just one human race, bro. Make love, not war. This was the message. It is insane to think that we thought they were crazy. That is insane to me, that I used to think that hippies were crazy. Who is crazy? Make love, not war is the most sane thing that you can say. We're all one is the most sane, self-actualized thing that you can say. So we had these two battlefronts, all right? Let's make psychedelics, right? What are they? They made them like a class schedule. What is a schedule? The highest one, right? And then they made, the 3-strike, you're out. So basically you had this battle on both fronts. You had a battle against consciousness. You had a battle that was knocking down melanated people. Exactly. Society said we only believe their lie. This is always interesting, is that we've been told things and we still have the responsibility as we get older to come into our awareness and question things. Okay, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Is that what I really want to believe? So the war on drugs is a crazy thing. If you really start studying it, you'll be like, oh shit. Yeah, so Schedule 1. So there's Schedule 1. Right? Which is wild. Which is very, very wild, right? I am. They helped me in the capacity that they could, so I need to be, So I need to be there in the capacity that I have now out of love. You are the cosmos, you are the body, and I try to do it because again, there's nothing to do. I'll have this. Yeah, there is nothing to do. There is nothing to do. Even when I do shrooms now, right? I remember when I was younger, doing them to get these profound realizations. But there is nothing to do. Whether you had this knowledge or not, like there's still nothing to do. How much of the knowledge that we've accumulated has actually helped us to live the life that we want? What percentage would you say of the knowledge that you know has helped you to live the life that you want? Right? Like, how much of it? How much of what you learned in school has helped you to live the life that you wanted? How much of what you learned about all kinds of things? Right? It's probably a fraction of the information. So even the pursuit of information, it shouldn't be because we have to do something. It should be because that's who you are. You're an infinitely expanding being. You're an infinitely expanding being. So there's always something you can do. There's nothing to do. All right? Say Colorado about to be legal. Yeah, Colorado's always the first. Then we have the trickle-down effect to everybody else. It's always interesting, though. It's like the government subsidizes it, right? Like the government takes control of it, and now they can make money off of it. Even though they've been locking people up and throwing away the key about it for so long. It's like, oh, well, now we'll make it legal and we'll make money out of it. It's cool. We got this. Sell it and pay us taxes on it. It's always these full circle moments. And I'm like, interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Because what's the purpose of school? The purpose of school is what? Is to teach you how to work, right? You pop out the womb, they put a social security number on you immediately. Bloop. Put that barcode on his ass. Now get him to work. And the more they do that, okay. Oh, that's a great question. But if we do not do, we are stuck. Isn't the process of growing and learning doing something? All right. So, yes, you're right. On the second part, not on the stuck part. Not on the stuck part. Source. Okay, remember, you're the word made manifest, right? So when God said, let there be light, he doesn't say, let there be light, then start micromanage the process. He said, let there be light, and there was. The moment that you say that you are something, that's what you are. There's nothing to do to get what you want, is what I'm saying. Now, the purpose of doing the work, of moving, of learning things, why do you do that? You simply do that because you are an expanding being. You do that because that's your nature. But you don't have to do any of that to get it. You're just as worthy on the couch taking a nap than you are in the gym lifting weights. You are just as worthy in all these areas. There's nothing to do. You deserve everything by right of consciousness. So that's what I mean. Growth is for you, but growth does not make you more worthy or in alignment. It's simply something that you do because it feels good to you. All right, y'all stayed way too long. You boys I gotta do a little bit of packing tonight. So I appreciate y'all as always for tuning in, right? And we will jump on here again very, very, very soon. Remember, you already are everything that you desire to be. You already have everything that you desire to have, right? Now, are you going to be faithful enough to grant it to yourself? I trust that you are. I already know that you are, all right? Y'all have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Y'all stay powerful, stay blessed, stay divine. Know that you are already all that there is. Anything that implies you don't have what you want is an illusion. Push it away. All right, y'all have a beautiful evening. We'll talk again tomorrow. Probably tomorrow probably about 7, 8 tomorrow, right? But y'all have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Love you all. Love the discussions, love the pushback, love the expansion, love the success stories. You deserve everything, everything. And so it is.